Good evening. Hey, baby. How you doing? Hello, hello, hello. Hi, 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 everybody coming in. Y'all know I'll be on CP time. My apologies. I tried. And then I started getting more questions, so I just started trying to jot them down real quick so I could be fair and catch everyone who had a viable question. You know? Yeah. Yeah. I had to calm myself down. Straight up had to calm myself down after looking at these questions. Because I have a question. I have a few questions. And I'd like some answers. Somebody gonna have to give them to me. I got questions that require some answers. Hi, good evening, good evening. How are we doing? Welcome, welcome. Come on in here. Let's give the people a little chance to scoot in here and to get my notification out that I'm up on here. Oh my goodness. It has been a crazy last couple of weeks for Auntie. Uh, where's my cigars at? Oh, um, hello, hello, good evening. Come on in here, grab a seat, grab a drink. Why not IGM? I'm blocked. I've been blocked from Instagram for a little over 2 years now. So I'm not even attempting at this point. I don't even care. Um, so that's why they restricted me twice for the same offense that was already taken down like over a year ago. So I don't know. You know what I really think it is? I'm mad. I think that they're very upset that I won't monetize because of the number of views that I get. Over 250,000 views I get a month, and so they keep sending me stuff asking me to monetize, and I refuse because I'm not giving them. If I'm giving it to y'all for free, how am I, like they want a little? That's not why I'm doing that. So I'm not doing it. Eventually they'll let it go. They'll let me go, and I'll come back over there. But for now, this is where we at. You know what I'm saying? Hello, my dear. Hello, welcome, welcome, everyone that's coming in. How y'all been? Let me start with the regular, the good stuff first, right? So sometimes it takes time for me to get to my DMs. It'll be upwards of a week before I will respond to someone sometimes because I get a lot of DMs, right? And I take them in order of which I receive them. I don't take more than like five a day, depending on how heavy the issue is that someone is asking for my assistance with, right? And so if you are one of those people who have no patience, if you're 3 days in and you sent me a question and I have yet to open it and you can see that I haven't read it and that I haven't opened it, and you hit me with the question marks or the well I guess not, or the I'm never going to respond to that. Like, you just checked yourself off the list. I'm looking at your character and your patience when I'm doing things, right? Your spiritual workers are human beings. I was sick, okay? Let me just start with that. On my ass, sick with a fever, sweating, all that, okay? So am I not supposed to be sick and take care of myself because I have a DM from somebody who wants help with their life? Like, if you don't care about humanity, if you don't care about someone else's well-being, never ask, is everything okay? Are you okay? You know, if y'all see me disappear from the social medias for more than a week at a time, something's up. You know what I'm saying? Either she's working seriously, because then I had a OCHA that I had worked, and when I work a OCHA, I'm gone for 8 days minimum. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just here playing on social media, right? I have responsibilities and a human life outside of social media. So that type of energy, you don't ask me for nothing. Please. I am as caring to you all, and I expect you all to be as caring to the next person, especially if it's someone that you look to for help or guidance or anything like that. We have lives too, right? We have human shit that goes on with us too, and patience is a virtue. You, if you don't understand patience in this spiritual walk and in your life and with other people, then that's a problem that you need to address with oneself. Okay, that's number one. Number two, um I have a spiritual protection class coming Saturday, April the 12th. It's going to be here in Westchester County again. Um, the options for payments is through either Cash App or through my Etsy shop. The link to the shop is in my highlights. People keep asking me if I'm coming back to New York. I live in New York, my loves, so I'm here. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead and sign up for that. A lot of people be scared to fight back, and I put up videos about doing the wrong stuff. If you want to learn how to do the right stuff, I'm gonna tell you. This ain't no poo putt stuff though. It's still not no, oh, we praying through this. No, I'm gonna show you what's sanctioned. I'm gonna show you how to get it sanctioned. I'm gonna show you how to ask the right questions to make sure that you are covered in the back end going in, and then we're gonna tell you exactly what it is that you can and should be doing along with your spirit guides and guiding them and giving them the tools and stuff that they need to help you scrape somebody who deserves to be scraped. This is about justice, not vengeance. Those are two very different energies and two very different workings, right? So if you're, and then people love to come into my DMs with dirty hands and think that I don't see that you started some of this, that you played a hand in some of what's going on in your life. I don't help people with dirty hands. A mistake is a mistake, but an intention is just that, an intention. Your intention was to do some bullshit. You think that I can't tell that? You think that my spirits don't be like, step out of that, let her catch it. 100%. So if you know that your hands are dirty, you better work on redeeming yourself, and don't come to no real light worker because we see that your hands are dirty. So there will be a part of it that you're gonna have to catch back. Ain't nobody in their right mind stepping in between you and something that you started without catching some of that energy back. I don't care how good you are, that person that's doing the work-ins, you still, the energy that you give out is the energy that you give back, regardless of who you get to try to come in there and help break up stuff for you, right? You got to make up for that, right? And that's not something that you can make up in finances. That's something that you make up in your deeds and your changes in your life and your changes in your attitude and the changes in the energy that you're putting forth in the universe and the changes that you're making in your life and all of that kind of stuff. Being a better person to people, doing better by people, you know, not living in ego and allowing yourself to like really be responsible for your actions and understand that there's cause and effect, right? I'm pissed off with the questions that I got, right? Why am I pissed off? I'm pissed off because it's a lot of playing. It's a lot of playtime. It's a lot of looking for a magic bean. This is not Jack and the Beanstalk, ladies and gentlemen. Spirituality is true, real life. And the true, real life of the spirituality is this: changing in your life. You are the source. You must change. You must say what you are going to do for you and then be a person of your word. If you are going to be about it and speak about it, then you're going to have to live just like that. The changes that you have to make are the changes that you have to make, and can nobody do nothing for you, spirit or dead, alive, human, mentor, teacher, crown, priest. Nobody can do nothing for you if you're not willing to make the changes and do the things for yourself to get yourself on the right path and receive the stuff that you are deserving. You are not getting nothing back from the universe that you don't deserve. And that goes along with the ass whippings that you receiving as well. You deserve some of them joints. And until you can recognize the parts that you played in the situations that you have landed yourself in, can't nobody do nothing for you. Okay? Somebody asked me something about how can you not break a good streak that you've currently had in fasting and staying away from bad habits. And that's not a spiritual question. That's a mental strength question. That's a I want better for my life question. That's a I'm gonna do whatever it takes by any means necessary to do what's good for me type of question. That's a therapy question. That's not nothing spiritual, my love. That's a do you want better for your life? right? What are we doing? What are we talking about? What are we talking about? Um, Not going any further on that. Um, Someone asked me, is it time that that everything eventually works in their favor? Not on earth. Nothing works in your favor. Excuse me. All the time when you live on a human existence on earth, not for nobody. So I don't even understand that type of question. No. How much are you putting in? Like you get back what you put out. Period. Are you, if you working for something and you're genuinely working for something? This is in any facet of your life. Don't leave spirituality out of it for a second. Anything you work for, you gain from. If you're doing honorable work, you know what I'm saying, with honorable people, and you're doing things that is within your trajectory of where your life is supposed to be going, right? Period. I don't get it. How can I keep my spirits happy? You do what you're supposed to do. Listen, do the stuff that you're supposed to do. These are not like these questions. Like, I have videos that have been on my feed for over 5 and 6 years. Go watch these videos. I have gone over this stuff on multiple occasions, on multiple different scenarios, and multiple videos, and all kinds of stuff. Like, why ask me these questions and waste time instead of asking something that you really, really, really could use knowledge on? Right? That you really, really, really could take something and grow from it. That it would help you in your life in some way, shape, or form. This is like scratching the surface of just, it's like, I don't even know, right? Can a hex be broken? Yes. What? Right? How do I remove a hex that was sent unjustly? Didn't I just say the other day that a lot of stuff requires a reading? Are you kidding me? I don't know. And if you were to, this is how a scammer comes and takes all your money, by asking that type of question and allowing someone to sit here and tell you something about a hex that may or may not have been placed on you with no background information, no type of divination, no type of investigation, no spirit questioning it to go back there and look and see what was going on with your situation and your scenario to give us a valid recipe for your issue, if there is one. So I can sit here and say, yes, the hex can be broken. Send me $450 and we're going to break that hex for you. That's you a scammer's dream. Stop that. That you are a scammer's dream right there. Get the divination. Get the reading, not a tarot reading. I need specifics on who said what, how said what, how, all that, because then y'all will get into the energy of panic, right? And of desperation, and that's a scammer's dream meal right there. Desperation. You say that person is working Haitian voodoo against you. You can't go to no Catholic saint and ask them to break that. The energy has to match the energy of what's being thrown at you. So you need something just as strong and as gritty to get at that. So what would I need? I would need something like Palo, right? Raw nature energy spirits to take care of something like that. There's certain things with certain pantheons and certain traditions that energy gotta match in order to be able to fight. You can't send me a 3-man army to fight a 15,000-man army that's been doing this for hundreds of years, and they generals is popping, and they formation is like that, and they studying is like that, and their unity is like that. And here you come with these newfound people that's just trying stuff out. That don't work. You fail. I don't care who you paid. I don't care how you paid them. The energy has to match the energy of what's being thrown. Right? The army's got to be in the same vein of what's happening in order for them to be even able to take that job and be successful at it. You can't throw up no spiritual attachment. That's crazy. If I send a spirit to you to do something to you, do you think that I can give you something to put in your mouth and you vomit that up? That's not how, I saw that on TV. I saw that on TV. That's not real life. That is not real life. So I need y'all to stop with the scam. Y'all are being scammed because y'all are just looking for the easy way out. The easy way out is I don't have to take no accountability and no responsibility for the situation that I got myself in. I don't have to deal with my ancestors and elevate myself and my energy and look at the people that I'm allowing into myself, my circle. I don't have to look at no parts of my life at all whatsoever to fix nothing, change nothing, do nothing, grow, learn nothing. Nothing. I don't have to do nothing except for pay this person and they're going to tell me that everything's going to be good. Does that sound like a fairy tale or a movie to you? Because that does to me, because that is not real life, y'all. I need y'all to stop living in fairy tale and la la land. Everything that you get from spirit is what you deserve, no more, no less. You don't get something for nothing. You don't get, nothing falls out of the sky. Not your blessings don't even come without you having to work and or do something and or be the right type of energy to receive that said blessing. Okay? Nobody's giving you nothing. And if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true. If you threw that first stone, or you pop your mouth off, or you X, Y, or Z, that you still got to take accountability for that. You got to make a change in the way that you respond to people, and things of that nature in order for some of that energy to change. But as far as somebody physically doing a spiritual working against you, because you said some slick shit or you went, here you go. If you started with the energy of I'm gonna get this bitch, you getting it. That's not justice. Sounds like vengeance, don't it? Very much sounds like vengeance. All right? So y'all need to make it make sense. Y'all need to realize that if you decided to take a spiritual walk and a spiritual journey and open up spiritual doors to deal with spirit, there is nothing in this walk that is going to be 100% flowers, roses, happiness, and smiles 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. That is not how this world works. That is not earth, and that is not the human experience. So if you have never had no hardships in your life whatsoever and you seemingly had a kind of a charmed life, that changes when you start taking steps into spirituality. Why? Because you have to understand that you do not get the flowers, the fruits, or nothing else that grows without the rain and the clouds that produce them, honey. Okay? So you will call yourself spiritual and you want to do spiritual and calling yourself helping people spiritually and you want to be this and you want to work with the dead and you want to read tarot and you want to do all this, that, and the third, and you have never come up against no real hardships in your life. That's coming. How do you think that you are going to be able to help the people that are coming to you with all the problems in the world and you've never experienced no hardship in your life? Does that sound fair? That's not life, right? That's not reality. And a lot of people are not living in reality. And I need y'all to take a trip on over here into reality, take a seat, get some popcorn, and start paying attention. Okay? Oh. There's so many questions on here that I was just running through my house like a fucking maniac. I ain't gonna hold you. I was so irritated. Yo, I was so irritated. I didn't know what to do with myself. And I said to and this is a whole page full of questions, right? I said to myself, let me just skip past all of this stuff because I can't. Okay? This is facts. It's truly ghetto and many moments of trials and tribulations. Hell yeah. And how do you think that we can learn how to tell somebody how to spiritually protect themselves if you ain't never had to spiritually protect yourself? You learn by going through the experiences, not by reading a book. Right? There's no book that I've ever read that's telling me nothing except for prayer, something specific about like a specific spirit guide, like that one that's well known, one that's, there's information about or something like that, and there's specific information that someone has compiled about said spirit. Um, and still you get more of detailed one-on-one personalized information when you start communing with the spirit, because they are very much going to communicate their needs with you, their likes, their wants, whatever it is that you need to know about them. Okay. um Somebody asked me about cultivating a relationship with spirit and you don't have no consistency in your life or your practices. Is that something that you just pray for? What? How do you cultivate a relationship with anybody in your life? Spirit, human, dog, cat. It takes work, not prayer. Work. Prayer without work is dead. You don't get nothing back from that. You have to work for it. You have to work at it. You have to say, I am going to do this. You have to follow instructions. You have to listen. You have to change. You have to meditate. You have to ground. You got to do some shadow work. You got to change all the bad stuff about you. Like this. Nobody want to look at themselves. Everybody want to run face first in the spirituality and think that the magic, all I got to do is pick up magic beans and gold buckets off the floor and everything's going to be nice and shiny and I don't got to change nothing about me and I can keep continuously making stupid decisions, being horrible with money, horrible with relationships, not looking at nothing in my life, nothing that I do is wrong, everything that I do is right. Like, what? Absolutely not. Gillibaggin. This is not magic, and anybody who thinks that this is straight up magic needs to put it down and spend 60 days alone with self. What am I doing in that 60 days alone with self? I'm meditating and I'm writing, journaling about me and everything that happened in my day. And when you start noticing the pattern of you the asshole and the common denominator in the situation, I suggest you sit down and think about how could I have changed my reaction, my words, my energy, my outlook. Why is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday all the same? It's going to always be the same until you make a change. That's the same thing with any part of your life. How you change bad habits? If you know it's a bad habit, change it. What are we doing? We are adults. We are not children. Do you need to be put on timeout and punishment and all of that other kind of stuff? Do you need more stuff to be taken away from you? Because that's what eventually happens. When you start playing in these spiritual streets, spirit does things to box you and pigeonhole you, to force you to sit down and figure this out. And it can be through a fucking mental breakdown. Nobody wants that. That's insane to let it get to a point that they got to lock you in and strip away everything from you in order for you to pay attention and make a change in your life. That's crazy. And what makes it even crazier is if you would have left spirituality alone, it wouldn't be this. You would just think it's okay that you just having bad luck. But you decided to open the spiritual door, which means that you are now responsible for what came from the other side of that, which is structure, change, discipline, planning, growth, healing, elevation, shadow work, being better to the people around you, having care and empathy for your world and just everything and everybody. No common sense at all whatsoever. Straight bullshit. Straight wasting my time. Straight wasting the little brain cells that you got left. Why? Because everybody online is making this shit look like it's just games. And this is not a game. I keep trying to tell y'all that. And nobody is listening. And then, stop trying to play me. Don't ask me to mentor, teach you, guide you, none of that kind of stuff. And you refuse to get an ancestral divination to get and talk to your own ancestors so that they can scrape you up real quick. I don't do that. I'm not mentoring you. I'm not teaching you. I'm not giving you none of my. I need to look into your history and talk to your people and them tell me what's supposed to be going on with you. Because you lie to me. And you can lie to me all day. You can think you can lie to me, but you lying to yourself. And then you think that I'm going to let you into my inner circle just because you asked. Just because you got a couple of dollars. I keep telling y'all I don't need your money. And I don't do this for $1. I do this to really help people. I do this to really be the one there for somebody who really needs somebody because they serious about the shit that they got going on. Not so that you can come to me to the drummings with my Elay and be up in the pictures and around the Arisha and all of that other kind of stuff. No, sir. You know how long it takes for me to allow somebody in that close to get them in there? Why? Because as I'm in there with the people that I've taken, that I've decided to pull close to me and allow them in these spaces, I am responsible for them when the Orisha comes down and says to me, as they did in them pictures that I put on there 3 times in a row, who's responsible for this child? At the third child, I was like, oh my God, what is going on with y'all? Why are they paying so much attention to y'all? Y'all don't understand that the person that brings you to these places, the priestesses and the priests that bring you there, when Orisha come down and there's something going on with you and there's something that they got to tell you, they looking for who brought you there. Guess who's standing there to make sure that you good? And then I'm responsible to make sure that I take care for you whatever the fuck that Orisha just told me. But you want to play around. And you just want to come and be in the pictures. And you just want to come be at the space. But I'm being held responsible for bringing you there. Y'all don't get how serious this is. Y'all don't get how serious this is. And y'all don't understand the responsibility that it comes with these types of things. And if you are not going to be serious about it, I go play with the other people online. I keep telling y'all that I'm not her. I am not her. I keep telling y'all, look, let's shift the energy. So I had a couple of decent questions. Somebody asked me if I'm doing the spiritual protection class again in this summer. No, I'm not doing. After this one, I'm not doing another one. I got some other stuff coming up, and I don't have time to do another class. Not that one. Excuse me. Someone asked me about if it was safe to do a divination on a child. Absolutely. In our African traditional systems, we have a ceremony that's called an Esentaye, which is a ceremony that's done a few days after the child is born to get a life path reading for that child, so you know exactly how and what to be expecting with this child, to know what this child's path and this child's journey actually entails, and that child gets a name. An African, which is called an Oriki name, which kind of gives you an idea of what this child was sent here to do. And it's one of the very first readings that you get when you have a baby, you know. So yes, a parent can very much get a reading for a child. I wouldn't suggest a tarot reading. When I'm dealing with children, I'm gonna send you to like a Babalawo for Ifa, because I want the Arumila is the witness to creation. He is the Alirimpin. So if I'm dealing with my child, I want to know who was there at the time of creation that knows my child's destiny, to get a divination for my child that way. So absolutely. We have in my Elated mad kids that are crown priests that are older than me in Ocha, and they are like 9, little, tiny. I gotta throw myself in front of their Arisha, and they little hands gotta pop and lift me off the floor from in front of their. It's the most cutest thing because they are so tiny. It is hilarious, right? But it's so sweet at the same time because they be there working. I had to do a drumming for one of my Orishas, baby, and all of the adults in the room, spirits, the Orishas mounted them. It was the kids that was taking care of us, the babies, 10-year-old. Running behind us with the stuff, with the towel, all the stuff they supposed to do to come behind the Orisha, make sure that the Orisha when they down is okay. If the babies had us on lock, okay. So yeah, it's perfectly fine for kids to get divinations and stuff, because we got a lot of young little kids, babies that are priests and priestesses in these traditions. These parents ain't playing with these kids no more. They straight up crowning them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's in there. It was written for them. It came up in their divinations that this is the road that this child is going to take. And so they're not wasting no time. Bring them up with a book that's going to give you a manual and a handbook on what to expect with your child. Listen, some people feel like they should let their children make the decision for themselves when they get older. But then you have these other children that come in with other kind of issues that they need that structure from beginning to end. You understand what I'm saying? So that is a choice that the parent must make. However, the divination will absolutely give you some guidance on and some structure on what you can expect with your child, and you make the decision from there about what it is that you want to happen. You know what I'm saying? But absolutely. Somebody asked me about the best place to put ashes. What ashes? Whose ashes? What are we talking about? Everybody ashes shouldn't, like, whose ashes? Y'all gotta remember that with spirituality, I could get, it could be one scenario for 32 of y'all, and I could have 32 answers different for each one of y'all. A lot of the questions that people ask is straight. You need, who placed me in the graveyard was one of the questions I got. How do I? It was Teresa. I don't know, baby. How do I know that? That's a divination. That's, once again, you are a scammer's dream. Who told you that somebody placed you in a graveyard? If they told you that, then they should be able to tell you who did it. Straight like that. If I tell somebody that somebody did some spiritual works against them, I can bet you I'm telling them who the fuck did it. We're not getting off that reading, that divination, until we find out who did it. Why? Because now we need to know what we have to do. What is the solution? What is the fix? What needs to be done? You think that when you get a divination with a priestess or a priestess that's reading the Orisha, a Babalao that's reading the Ifa, or me who's reading your ancestors, you think they gonna let us walk away with saying that somebody put you in the cemetery and that's it? We gonna leave it at that? You're bugging. We are gonna sit here until we figure out who did it, how they did it, what we gotta do to fix it, what do you need to do to fix it, how do you protect yourself, how much shit we gotta, who's taking the job, all that. So if somebody is telling you that somebody put you in a graveyard and they can't tell you who or how to fix it, I'm gonna say ain't nobody put you in a graveyard. You're bugging. And the fact that you accept that is insanity. You can't tell me no shit like that and walk the fuck off. Bitch, what? Get over here. Excuse me? Like, no. Oh, my God. I need y'all to get real serious about this or leave it alone. Like, I'm not going to say it again. It enrages me when I see these types of the things that come up in my DMs, because it's like, have you ever watched one of my videos? Just one. See what kind of information that I'm giving up. See what kind of energy I'm giving up. See what kind of knowledge you can learn if you sit down with a couple of my videos and a pen and a pad and just, while you wash dishes, and when something clicks your ear, stop for a second and go write it down and then go back to washing dishes. You ain't got to give my videos your undivided attention, but if it's playing in the background and you need to hear something on it, you're going to hear it. Go sit down somewhere and worry about that for a little while and see what you pick up, instead of asking me a bunch of dumbass questions, which means that this is the type of dumbass stuff that's be going through your mind when you sitting at home by yourself. That's crazy to me. Go meditate. They're in my highlights on my Instagram page. Anything you do for 30 days in a row, you build a routine. I need you to meditate for 30 days in a row, the same meditation, until you get some fucking clarity. Oh, my God. I'm not answering how you block monitoring spirits no more. I don't know. I done told y'all 1,000 different ways to block monitoring spirits. And why is somebody monitoring you, right? You can't continuously, like, there's stuff that you have to do with self and the connection with spirit and the connection with your own energy. And like, if you don't clean yourself or clean your house or change your sheets or wash your curtains or change your comforters, and you sleep in a pitch black room and you never clean your door and you barely mop your floor and you barely wipe your door down and you barely smoke out your house and you have every Tom, Dick, and Harry coming in your house and you let people just walk all in your house. You walk outside in dirty, muddy shoes and then walk in your house. You have uncovered mirrors facing altars, facing your bed, altars in your bed, all kinds of change it all up. Why somebody watching you? For what? Stop allowing these type of people into your life. Don't nobody just pull you out of the sky and say to themselves, I'm gonna watch this person. You want to make a different change to the type of people that you surround yourself with. Everybody is not for you to be paying to learn something from. Half of them don't know shit. And they just taking your money and dare you to say something that's going to combat what they're saying. Now they want to throw at you. Well, if you'd have had any kind of discernment, you'd have known that this person ain't teaching shit anyway. If you pay attention, like, do y'all ever do a deep dive through somebody's social media feed? Do it with mine. If you don't do it with nobody else's, do it with mine. When I'm trying to figure out something about somebody's energy, and you got 5 years worth of posts on your page, bitch, best believe I'm hitting all 5 years, because I want to see what the fuck you've been doing. I want to see the trajectory of your life. I want to see how you respond to people who have just regular basic questions, like they just don't know. It's not even people that's trying to be funny. They just ask them straight questions like, well, where did you get that? Or what about this? Or, you can tell somebody who just generally just has a question, and then somebody that's trying to be a smart ass. So what's that person's energy giving? If they got multiple pages, how many of them pages is giving 5 different personalities? Right? Y'all don't check nobody out. Y'all just like see one thing and you like it, or y'all love these people who will take a saying and set up a camera and put on a face full of makeup and a fucking filter and say, baby, I don't know who this is for. Well then, bitch, you should have kept it to yourself, because 9 times out of 10, spirit, it was for you. You hear what I'm giving? I know who the fuck it's for. I saved all of the things so I know specifically who sent it to me. And when I get a page like this, it's dumb shit, it's like, what? I didn't even write them all down. I got aggravated after the first 35. Oh. Somebody asked me why some spiritual pots should go outside and some spiritual pots should be inside. It's all because of the spirit that's in the pot. A lot of times these people do not know, and they've trusted someone to build the spiritual pot for them. And these people go and take spirits that are not so happy about being in this motherfucking pot. Say it like that. Listen, y'all gonna get real rap raw tonight, okay? That spirit ain't so happy about being in that fucking pot. And so you bet not bring that shit into your house. Why? Because it'll cause havoc in your household. Your ancestors don't like the fact that that motherfucking pot is in there, so they don't want it in the house. The other spirits that come in light and spirit and truth that have agreed to be there, that work under the guise of God and Olodumare and light and all that other kind of stuff, don't want that energy in the house. They don't need nothing that causes chaos inside the house, so it has to be outside of the house. How about that? That's the answer. A lot of us have certain bloodline spirits, right? Spirit guides that are totally balanced, that can work. However, right? And those can be the spirits that are dealing in these pots. Those are safer to be inside the house, because that is sometimes a family member, sometimes a friend, someone that you knew, and or just a guide that's been assigned to you who has the ability to work both ways, but they don't lean into that, and they're not forced or trapped into doing that, and they weren't coerced into be working for you in this vein. They've decided, they've chosen it. Remember free will, and I said before that even spirits have free will. And if you trap a spirit into a pot to do certain works for you, then that is not fucking free will, and no, that spirit should not be inside your house, period. How about that? Okay? So that's why some pots should be inside and some pots should be outside. It all depends on how that pot was put together, what system that pot is in, and where the fuck that spirit came from that resides and works that pot. How about that? A lot of people are playing with a lot of stuff that they don't got no business playing with. They don't understand it. And y'all better ask some more motherfucking questions when y'all going to deal with these people that pay y'all money to do all kinds of shit. You'll never leave me not knowing or understanding what I just said to you. In no way, shape, or form will you not understand what I just said to you. You are not going to not understand. You will understand every part of what we have done, every part of what we finna do, every part of how this is going to go, and your responsibility to it afterwards. If you got questions like that, paying your money and doing this type of stuff with NT Bati, you better sit down. There's no such thing as I don't I got an issue or somebody send a spirit to me and I'm gonna go to somebody who's gonna tell me that they gonna fix it, but they don't tell you what the fix is. They say to you, we gonna try this. Get your shit and get away from them. Try? You're gonna try? What? What do you mean? You're gonna try. Either you are in contact with a particular spirit, energy, system, what tradition, whatever, and one of them motherfuckers done stood up and said, I got it. This is what you are going to do. This is how I need you to do it. This is where you're going to do it. This is how you're going to do it. I need you here on these days. Yada, 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 yada. When I'm finished with it, I need you to take it here and do this and then do this and do this and then do that. There is direction. There is no such flower as I'm going to try and do what? Do you know the type of the shit that you just stepped into when somebody says, oh, I'm going to try such and such and such? That means that they are not equipped to take on the job that you need to have done. Period, point blank. If they have to try, nobody's sanctioning that. No spirit is stepping up to take care of that. Nobody on this, if this is a spiritual battle, right? This is a spiritual working. There is a spirit that has been sent to you by somebody else. Then the spirit has to go and take that motherfucking spirit away from you. There is no try. You know what that does? That alerts the person who sent that spirit to you that you don't have no fucking idea what you're doing. That you done pissed that spirit off now. So everything in your life is about to turn up. Please believe. It's turning it up. It ain't turning it down. It ain't separating it. It ain't protecting you. It ain't fixing the problem. It is amping that shit up. And that person at some point is, and ain't no way that the person that calls themselves trying to help gets sick in the middle of the job. What? That means they not covered. I told y'all about transference of energy and stepping in the middle of some shit, and there's no spirit standing in between you and that. You catch it. So for you to get sick means nobody told you either. Y'all play Russian roulette with y'all lives way too much. And it's really scary at this point. I'm passionate like this. I'm coming like this because, yo, this week has been fucking mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And I'm saying to myself, this is only a fraction of the people that gravitate towards me. I can only fathom the amount that just don't ever find my feed or anything, that is just fucking white-knuckling it through life, and they are just catching it. They are being robbed. They are being just, oh my God, put through the ringer because they just, oh. I don't know, guys. I don't know. I don't know anymore. I really don't know. Somebody also asked me about mentally seeing worms and maggots in somebody's pot. That goes a couple of different ways. It could be spirit telling you that they're a little dirty and that they do dirty shit and you shouldn't be over here fucking with them. I'm going to say that. Depends on whose pot it was. If it was your pot, then you need to be figuring out what's really going on with what you got going on, because there's something funky in the state of Denmark. Feel me? That's, again, the questions that y'all be asking, it be like a lot, y'all, at least 40 of y'all need divinations. I ain't gonna hold you. At least 40 of y'all need divinations to really get into it. And why the divination? Because if you don't do what they tell you to do in a divination, they're going to bust your shit real quick. And you ain't going to have to ask and worry about it. Somebody threw at me. No, your ancestors just busted your shit because they told you what to do and you didn't do it. So now they letting life eat that ass up. Period. I need y'all to stop worrying about the evil eye and who's looking at y'all and who's watching y'all and all that other kind of shit. Y'all give y'all enemies way too much power. Oh, baby, y'all give your enemies way too much power. I say fuck this bitch 24 times a day. I don't care about nobody and what they trying to do. And if you were so in tune the way you were supposed to be in tune and knowing who you got, you would tell your ancestors and your spirit guides when somebody try to look over here, poke their fucking eye out. As it be as simple as that. Y'all be looking for big, long, drawn out this is or that. Yeah, it is different little things that you can invoke and all that other kind of stuff, but you can also tell them to poke their motherfucking eyes out. How about that? Right? But you got to know who's willing to poke out an eye. And ain't nobody willing to poke out an eye if you the one online telling all your goddamn business. If you the one that somebody comments always got a story to tell and there's way too much information about your life and you not realizing that once you put the shit online, everybody and their mother can see it. Just because you learn something new spiritual don't mean that you got to run to the internet and tell the world. Y'all be telling the world y'all business 90% of the time, and that's how people be so much evil eye on y'all. Because y'all don't really be doing shit that really causes a whole bunch of evil eye, except for being out here telling people too much, showing people too much. How about a little privacy now and again, every now and again? That's good. Privacy works wonders. You know what I'm saying? That stops a lot of evil eye. Oh. I ain't read nothing nobody wrote. My bad. I have been going off for 46 minutes. I said I wasn't even going to be here this long this night because I was just so over everything. And it's really like, y'all are playing. I need everybody to do what they supposed to be doing so that we don't got to have these types of conversations no more. I need everybody to be, like, if you really want to be doing spiritual stuff, then you're going to do it right and you're not going to skip no steps. And you're going to take the punches to the chin that comes with this walk. It is what it is, baby. Self-reflection is 100% part of this gig, and if you're not willing to do it and be honest with yourself, then ain't nobody else. You get what you get with this life. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, they call themselves spiritualists, but they not really spiritualists. They out here winging it and trying to make money at the same time because they can't even go get their chief or their coochie checks because they ain't got no insurance unless they scamming people, and that's crazy to me. Oh. I ain't cuss nobody out in the DMs because it was just like, I'm gonna take care of this one shot, one hit, and hopefully they'll listen to this because I didn't really want anyone to, I never say names. I know who you is, but nobody else needs to know who you are, anything like that. And I want you to understand that they wasn't the only one who said something dumb. You know what I'm saying? They weren't the only one that's just not looking at this in the right way. It's a lot more serious than they're allowing for them to. They don't even recognize it. I listen. I try to be as patient as I can because it's not funny, but you gotta laugh because it's like, what the fuck is going on in the spiritual streets? It's scary to me. It is very, very scary, and it is very, very it's only getting worse. See, it's the comment was that most people paid attention to their spirits the way that they're supposed to. They would never have these types of questions. Accountability is where it starts. Yeah, but you know what it is that they don't even understand. Like spirits, there's no spirits at this point. There's them and their ancestors, and if their energy ain't right, then 90% of the time you have to look at this is how these people were raised. So a lot of the ancestral line is a little shaky back there, and they only got a handful of good ones, and the energy is not being given to them in the right way for them to be able to step forward and do what it is that they need to be doing for this person's life, right? You the source of energy, and if your shit is funky and your shit is low and your shit ain't right and your frequency and your vibration is all twisted apart, you can't help them elevate no goddamn body. It's you first and then them. You know what I'm saying? Yo, 40 people out of how many DMs? Yo, Miss Wallace, you don't. If I showed you, you would be like, just shut your whole shit down and just walk away. I was ready to just put my shit on vacation. Like, forget it. Fucking forget about it. For real. Because it's like, what have I been doing? And like, I get those of you who really let me know that my job is not in vain, and I'm not just out here wasting my time, and y'all really serious about it, and y'all really, listening, and y'all really growing, and y'all really willing to put in the work. And I appreciate you guys. And you always kind of come at a time where I'm like at my wits end, where I just be like, I'm gonna step away for a little while, because 30 people can ruin it for the rest. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, why can't we just put more energy into getting it right than doing profile pictures so that somebody can see your curves? Nobody gives a fuck about that. That doesn't do anything for you in your life. Those curves will leave at some point or another. And then what do you have to fall back on? Nothing. You can't lead with that. Everybody's so worried about couples goals, and in the background they're over there whipping each other ass and can't stand each other, and it's all fake, and you over here trying to emulate your life and your relationship behind fake shit. This internet, I'm so grateful to have been born in the early 70s, where we didn't have computers and internet and all of that kind of stuff. So we didn't have to worry about dealing with the social media's fucking brain fucking us. You know what I'm saying? We didn't even have cell phones back then. Everybody's so judgmental, and it's all fake. It's all fake. I respect you so much. I watch your videos all the time, and I know I need to come correct. That's why I haven't reached out. And the slide was the confirmation for a few things I needed to hear. Listen, if you know you're not ready, it is what it is. Like, I had somebody else hit me yesterday telling me, before, that they weren't ready, but they're ready now. Listen, when you're ready, because you could take it. You know what I'm saying? When you're ready, just ready yourselves, because I'm not playing at all whatsoever. You get one shot with me. So when your ancestors ask me to help you, because I ask before I read anybody. I don't just be like, you hit me and be like, oh, I want a divination. I go right in there and be like, is it all right for me to read this person? Straight up. I ask. My spirits don't always say yeah. You know what I'm saying? When they say yeah, I got to ride with it, because I asked and that's what they said. But if they say no, you ain't ready. And you ain't going to piss me off and waste my time. So it is what it is. Yeah. Oh my God, this is your first time? I'm sorry. You picked the wrong night. They done pissed me off. My bad. Listen, normally I just be answering questions and go, you know what I'm saying, baby? This is the type of questions that they came for me with today, and hoo. Listen, get it together. I'm trying to tell y'all, Auntie is different. I save my lives because you will listen to what I said. You know what I'm saying? I got a whole thing on my thing that's rules on my page. Nobody looks at my rules. I put in the rules that I bite. Hello? You can't get no clearer than that, bitch. I just said I bite. Be careful with me. I fair warning. You know what I'm saying? Everything that glitters is not gold. 90% of what you are witnessing online is fake. You know what I'm saying? And it's just very disheartening that if it's too easy, if it's too good to be true, please sit on it for a second, because 90% of the time it is. You know what I'm saying? She been yelling at me for years. Listen, it's been a rough month, and for me to say, I'm gonna go sit down and do a live and talk to my people, I had plans for reading and all that other kind of stuff, and I got these questions, and baby, that record scratched so fast on me, I was like, ooh, they finna catch it. Auntie Mo activated. I was watching blaxploitation clips earlier, bitch. I was like, oh, these bitches is finna get it. Listen, oh my God. I just want y'all safe. I just want y'all to be serious. I just need everybody to do what they're supposed to do. Why? I keep telling y'all, if it's enough of us to do the right stuff or what we supposed to be doing, that's when the world changes. And we can't change nothing if we're not willing to change ourselves. And if we're not really going to be serious with this, social media is so over flooded with spirituality and attention seeking and people that really never have friends and people whose parents never really paid any attention to them, and they were, overweight little girls who lost a couple of pounds and got a few BBLs, and the men started paying attention to them and they realized that a pretty face to get them places, but if they open their mouth they sound dumb than a motherfucker. Like this is the vanity that we're living in. Straight up vanity. And you can't live that in spirituality because that's not how it's built. That's not what it's how it's was put together, formed, and comprised in order for it to be working for us to elevate. There's no elevation in any of that stuff. Any of that stuff at all whatsoever. And if you're not willing to like, y'all don't, I don't wear, first of all, I don't wear makeup ever. You see me with an eyelash on and some form of lip gloss because my lips be dry. That's it. I'm not concerned with none of that other kind of stuff because if I'm calling myself spiritual and I want to be a teacher and I want to be a leader and I'm a priestess of multiple African traditional systems and I'm in charge of all of these different things, you think that I'm sitting here worrying about putting a filter on so that y'all can't see who I really am? What? That's a problem. That lets me know that you're not somebody that I will want wrapped up in my spiritual nothing. I need somebody that's authentically them, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, crazy when they need to be crazy, right when they need to be right, authentically them, good person, good character, willing to learn, honest, fucking too honest sometimes, all of that kind of stuff. Somebody that's just good-hearted. So like, y'all have to look at the people that y'all allow into your lives in any way, shape, or form, especially in your spiritual walk, in your spiritual journey, with someone that you're asking to guide and lead you. I don't need the orange man lead me no motherfucking where. So I would not want an orange man type energy for a spiritual person leading me nowhere. I'm good on that. Like, I'm not that person that makes up lingo and goes into the dictionary and finds anything to talk about it, galactical this and the moon this, and it's a dark phase of the moon and it's not really, it's in a spirit, but it's an energy. And like, I don't talk like that. What the, huh? I speak very much straight, like you speak to your mama, your cousin, your sister, your brother, because I need you to understand specifically what I'm saying. I'm not trying to make myself sound over intelligent. No, I'm not overcompensating for not the lack of knowledge. So I don't got to do all that. I need you to know what the fuck I'm saying. I need you to understand what I'm saying. I need you to hear what I'm saying. I need you to process what I'm saying. I need you to sit with what I'm saying and then pick out the parts that make sense to you, that correlate with your life, and then fix it. That's it. I'm not here to throw glitter up your asses and breastfeed none of you kids. None of that. I'm here to tell you something. I'm here to give you what Spirit told me to give you. I'm here to link you with who you can. And then again, I'm not that person that be like, oh, I could do it. I'm going to do it. I could do it. No, I have a lot of resources. And I'm that person that I will hand you off to somebody who may be better suited to handle your needs. But I will never give you to none of my people if you're not right. Y'all bugging. I protect my team too. Like, because then when you come over there and I done sent you over there and you over there now, you acting like an asshole. They looking at me like where they came from. And then they looking at me like, yo, I know you the one who sent this bitch over here. And I'll be like, my bad. Like, why? I'm not catching that. You know what I'm saying? And again, I say that one can mess it up for the rest. So I'm very mindful on who I take and give any parts of energy to, because if you are not serious, don't come to me until you are serious. Don't go into my DMs if you like. And then this is another thing. People want to ask me about divinations, and you know that when you book me, you pay me. I don't give a fuck if that appointment is a month away. You pay me now. No, right? That's my rule. I told you before I was doing it the other way. That people would get to the day, never pay me, never nothing. My time's wasted. So we don't do that. You pay me ahead of time, right? If you don't have the money, why are you in my DMs asking me about my availability? I've told you before that there's no reason for you to contact me. Any of the information that you need, if you have questions about how, what, who, why, and what, it's in my highlights. It says Ancestral Divinations. It has the rate. It has what you need. It has all of the stuff. Everything's in there. It's like 5 videos in there to explain it. So you ain't got to ask me no questions, right? If I tell you that I take Cash App, stop asking me if I offer Zelle, because Cash App and Zelle don't sound the same. And if I offer Zelle, I would have told you that. I said Cash App. This is not a business where I open up credit card payments and all kinds of stuff. This is divinations that I'm doing to try to help y'all. I don't run this like a business like that. If you want to buy products and schedule other stuff, I run that like a business. I have a shop on Etsy. It's Designs by L. White. This is not that. So I don't treat this like that because I don't work this like that. I work very much, I'm old school. I keep telling y'all, I'll be 50 this year, right? So even me doing this on this computer thing is new, right? But I accommodate because I have people that are even overseas that I deal with, and there's no way for us to get in contact or deal if I can't look at you in your face. And my shit is done live. The same way I'm here screaming at y'all, the same way when we doing a divination, I'm sitting here screaming in your motherfucking face. Okay, so stop asking me stupid shit, y'all. Real talk. That's all I got. I'm getting really, really, really like thank you, because if I'm not honest, then what am I doing? I'm wasting everybody's time, and I don't have time to be wasted. You know what I'm saying? I don't put in the time to make the connection with the spirits and do the work that I do, or any of the stuff that I do, to waste time. If y'all see how many people died in this, I told y'all when I did that last video about how many people was going to be dropping in 2025, it is March, and about 13 people thus far that I know of done died already in 3 months. So if y'all think that time is just being is refundable and you get to keep playing this game and you get to keep hearing the same messages over and over again and you never do nothing for self, then there's a problem in the matrix, and the problem, baby, is you. It is very important for everyone that wants to be spiritual, that wants to call themselves spiritual, that wants to deal in the spiritual vein, that you know who your ancestors are, you know who's coming in light and spirit and truth, you know, because like breathing issues was a big indicator from asthma. Like, you be quiet. Sometimes that spirit be like, be quiet. You know what I'm saying? And everybody shouldn't be online. You know, everybody shouldn't be that whole, I don't know who this message is for, all that, shut it down. Shut it down. You know how many times spirit gives somebody a message that be straight up for them and they run to the internet and be like, I'm going to tell the people, bitch, that wasn't for the people. That was for you. Right? Because if spirit give me a message 9 times out of 10, they going to tell me, tell her that. Who's her? Whoever the fuck I'm talking to. Whoever they just popped up that had a conversation about. Whoever just texted me. Whoever just DM'd me. Tell her that. Not go online and make a video and all of that other kind of stuff. Like, no. Y'all love somebody to take a random deck of cards and just start saying shit. And y'all be like, ooh, I think you talking about me. Bitch, scam. Scam likely. You're a scammer's dream. I want my information straight and direct. Talk to me. Tell me, specifically me. Don't mix my shit up with nobody else. Because do you know how many times that I could be sitting right here, my sister be sitting right here, my brother be sitting right here, and somebody give me a message and that shit was straight up for her. I don't say nothing. They can get the energies crossed all the time. And I am fully aware that what you saying ain't for me. But am I going to tell you that? No. Why? Because you decided that you was going to be the one giving spiritual messages. You should be able to even tell me to move the fuck away from them a little bit because the energy is getting crossed, because it seems a little bit confusing. If that happens and it's being confused, y'all need to move to the side a little bit so that you can direct and feel the energy from this person, this person, this person, this person. Or sometimes your spirits will do that because that person don't need to know who it was for. They know that the message is right and y'all hear it. We're going to tell y'all when y'all get home who that specific message was for. But bitch, it wasn't for you. Spirit does that too. So you need to understand how spirit moves, what spirit will do, and sometimes it ain't always for you. So you have to have your own personal relationship with your own spirits so that you can always go and double check everything that somebody told you. I tell people all the time, and when I'm doing my divination and stuff, I get to the point sometimes where I'll stop and spirit be like, make her tell you. Because I want you to know that you can hear your own spirits. Stop depending on me to give you the answer because you are unsure. Get sure. How? Testing your theories. Right? You gotta ask the questions. When you give spirit, and that I need you to give me a message, you better give them the specifics of the sign that they're supposed to give you. You can't tell them just give me a sign. You have to tell them specifically. I need to see a yellow butterfly. I need to see a fucking red ladybug. I need to see a blue Honda go past, a green Honda go past. Like, it has to be specific. Let me see such and such video pop up on my feed or on my TV. Or let me see a Tyler Perry this. Specific. Specific. They will make sure that you get the specifics of what you ask because they need you safe. You can't tell spirit, just give me a sign. Specifics in what it is that you ask for. They will make a way if you make a way, but you have to put in the work. Everybody has to put in the work if they want this thing to grow, if they want to elevate, if they want to more. You know what I'm saying? And stop being so concerned about what somebody else has because your gifts may very well not be the same as what somebody else has. But your gifts may very well be what is needed and required to fit the rest of this puzzle for this team that we're about to set you up in. You will be the banger on that particular thing because that team needs that in there. You busy trying to be somebody else and be placed someplace where you don't fit, where there's a spot over here detailed and perfectly waiting for you. If you only knew what you had and were comfortable with what you were given. Yeah, because you ain't asked for specifics on, they'll give you angel numbers all day, but what's the specific on the message? You didn't give it to them. Now they fucking with you. They do that. You know what I'm saying? Spirit likes to test and likes to play because either way, if they fucking with you, giving you dumbass angel numbers, they still get energy from that. You know what I'm saying? So they're like, eventually she'll get it. If she don't get it, it doesn't matter because they fucking with you until you figure out a way to say, let me figure this out the real way, the right way. Let me go over there and listen to Lanita yell for an hour. And in that yelling, she's going to give me something. And look at how you just got the answer. Now watch the next time you do it. Specific. And then trust what they tell you. And you have to be obedient. You know what I'm saying? I was put the post up the other day about everybody's photo should not be on your ancestors' altar. Because everybody was not a good person. You know what I'm saying? My ancestors do this thing where they'll start standing up, right? When too many stand up at one time, I just brace myself because it's like, what? Okay, what's finna go down? You know what I mean? And it was myself, my sister, my cousin, and this is my cousin from my dad's side, so she has different parentage on her paternal side, and there was something going on with a spirit, and my ancestors was like, not even my ancestors, my great grandmother was like, Lanita, come to the front, and I fucking almost melted because I was like, what she want? Like, why me? Deal with them next. She was like, no, you. What's my response? But I had to get rid of a spirit. And I didn't know that that's what the fuck she was calling me over there to do. I didn't even know that that's what I was coming upstairs for. I just knew that I had to go, so I went, right? And when she did that, it made sense as to why the ancestors stood up like that first, and then here come my spirit guide in the background to go and snatch the fucking spirit. So I'm sitting here watching this shit like, wow, like, oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Your ancestors do things and they prepare you for what it is that you are going to walk into, and they got your back because they stood up, right? That was the first line of defense. When I say your ancestors is your first line of defense, I ain't even playing with y'all. I'm straight up because they stood up first. And after they stood up, and after I realized what they got was finna have me do, here come my lady with the rest of it. You know what I'm saying? They work very much together. The ancestors are the ones who open the doors and allow your spirit guides access to you. And so you need to understand, this is why the divinations with the ancestors are so important, because I had a young lady that I had even read today, and she was saying, my spirit guides, my spirit guides, my spirit guides. And the ancestors was like, I'm going to push all this shit off your table. And I was like, don't push it off my table. Push it off her table, because I'm finna tell her that it ain't the spirit guides is yours. Like, wait. It ain't me. I'm finna tell her, give me 2 seconds. Damn, I ain't even get a chance to get it out yet. It was her ancestor who was doing all of the stuff that she was giving her, the props and the energy to these spirit guides. And the lady was like, this, no, it's me. Tell her it's me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not playing with her. Then she started pointing out all the shit that belonged to her. And I was like, oh, she was like, stop playing with her with these cards and this pendulum and all this other stuff. You keep talking about spirit guide, spirit guide, spirit guide. Auntie said she not finna tell you again. I was like, ooh. She was like, oh my God. I was like, yeah. Who is this lady? Y'all ancestors don't be playing no games. Y'all ancestors be coming through reading cards, reading pendulums, all kinds of stuff, right? And y'all be swearing that it is the spirit guide. If you identify them, you learn how energy feels. You learn how you have a link, like, because you have so many ancestors. Sometimes you'll have the one or the two that did like spiritual work, or has decided that we like this way of communication that you've picked up, and we're going to use this to communicate with this child. Just let her know that those 9 decks of cards, those belong to me. So when she picked them up, you tell her, though she's talking to me, she ain't talking to nobody else in that moment except for me and her. That's dope. That means you can communicate with a specific ancestor that got 32 decks of cards and pendulums and all kinds of stuff, that you could get any answer to any question you got underneath the sun. And then not only is she there, you got the rest of your ancestors, yes, but clarity with she giving you all of this stuff. And then she was like, and then there's another lady standing here. I was like, you got another lady standing over here. And she reads them other ones. Go get them other ones. And this is what she said. And this, da 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 da. And then I'm telling her the difference of the age of the lady, so that she understands that their energy is different. And this lady come from here. So if you hear an accent, that's her. The energy is going to be a little, she was like, it does feel a little different with the ancestors. Feels like motherly. I was like, yeah, that's blood. You know what I'm saying? So y'all be very much scared to get the divination. But if there are actual spirits, ancestors, spirit guides, all of that kind of stuff, you need to know. And you need to know specific about who you got, right? Sometimes you don't have a bunch of spirit guides. Sometimes you got so many ancestors that have done so many different things, that have been so active in so many different ways, that they haven't allowed any spirit guides to come forward yet. And you don't even need them just yet. Your ancestors be ready for it all. You know what I mean? They are I said this before, I'm going to say it again. They are your training wheels in your spiritual walk. There's all of the safety in the world that you need. All of the knowledge in the world that you need. All of the teaching and the tutelage in the world that you need. All of that mystic vision that you need. All of the foresight that you need. Because to have foresight is to be forewarned. And they're willing to do that for you if you're willing to find out a little bit more information about them. Change your life. Be better and do the things that they couldn't do, because they're going to help you do them now, and be willing to do them, period. Put some respect on her name all day. And that's exactly what she said earlier. I was like, oh, she's spazzing. Please come get her. Yo, that lady wasn't no joke today. I was like, oh, you got ancestors over here that use feet and hands on people's necks. I was like, I love it. Yes, Anyala was clearing on the table, and that's what that spirit was ready to do with that girl today. Yo, I was on the floor. I was like, push her shit over. Not mine. I ain't do it. Yeah, they gonna tell all of the business because they need you to know. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you'll be shocked when the ancestor claim the decks and pendulums. Why are they spirits? They're still spirits. And there's nothing better than the ancestral line being the ones that's giving you the information that you clinked in and linked in like that. Because when it's something that the ancestors don't handle, or it's just a little bit too much. Remember I said that if somebody's throwing or coming at you with something that the energy has to match in order for the fight to be even. That's when they open the door to even out the fight, because they be like second string come through, and they open that door and let them other spirits that like to fight come out of the woodworks. But they do that when they trust you. They do that when you are routine. They do that when you need it. And it's never when you want it. It's always when you need it. And I don't understand the desire to want so many different spirit guides, because it ain't nothing but a bunch more work. It's a bunch more work and a bunch more people to deal with. And a bunch more attitudes to deal with. And a bunch more things that you have to learn. And a bunch more things that you have to do. And a bunch more, it's just more. Yeah, crystal. If it got a string hanging from it, it is a pendulum. If there's a string, if it's a necklace and you can hold it like this and it's a crystal at the end of it, baby, that's a pendulum. And I've had somebody who had the same situation. It wasn't even a pendulum. It was some kind of shell he had connected to the thing. And the ancestor was like, that's mine. I want that. And I was like, she said, take that shit off your neck. He was like this. I was like, she said, take it off your neck. Listen, look. That's what she want, right? Yeah. Listen, they're supposed to be that way. She was very different in life as a spirit. She's a lot calmer and the energy, because you drop the human stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you die and you transition, you go back to being a spirit, so that human stuff drops. I keep telling y'all, spirit is very non-emotional. So for them to be hype and mad and angry, like there's really something that's got to be going on, that somebody's doing something really stupid for them to give off that kind of an energy. That, or they need elevation. It's really only those two things. Other than that, spirit is very matter of fact. And it ain't got time to be angry or none of that kind of stuff unless somebody's like trying you and them. You know what I'm saying? Unless somebody's doing something against you, then they get mad because they feel like who this bitch got us fucked up. Word. But other than that, spirit is very non-emotional. It's very rare that spirits just be mad. The energy comes off very strong. The energy may be very fiery, but it's still not them being mad. They're just like, all West Indian women, they just seem always very much spicy, right? But they don't be mad. They really don't even have no expression on their face for the most part. But their words sound strong. That's just them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Oh, that's that. I ain't even going over nothing else that's on this paper because it's only gonna piss me off, and we've already changed the trajectory of the conversation, so we're gonna leave it at that for the most part. Y'all need to keep your hands clean. That's all I'm gonna say. Everything doesn't require a spiritual working. Everything doesn't require you to do something back, but sometimes it sure does. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the people that I get that have gone into my did do the first and the spiritual classes and the mentoring and the stuff with me, they are the ones who it's at that point where it's like, no, you better punch. That you just got punched in your face. You're not gonna punch nobody back. Like the spirits is mad at this point. Like, now we ready to fight. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I put the class together, because I want you to know how to fight. I want you to know what to use. I want you to know that I don't care that person has his crowns. We eat them niggas too. Are you kidding me? Nobody's exempt. If you did it to me, I don't care who you is. I don't care what your title is. I don't care nothing about none of that. My spirit said, let me in, and baby, I'm opening the door and sprinkling everything she need on her to come over there to slide over there and take your ankles off. On God. I ain't going to, I know what to tell you to say. I know what to tell you to do. I know what to tell you to give the spirit, and then back up. Don't worry about, and this is another thing. Y'all like to do stuff and then worry, try to see, oh, I need to see what happened. No, you don't. No, you don't. When it's time for you to see what happened to that person, you will. Don't ask. Don't peek. Don't check. All you have to do is ask your spirit, is there anything else that I need to do at this time? And if they say no, mind your motherfucking business. Trust. If you don't have no faith and trust in what you did, then what you did was pointless. I have full faith and trust in everything that I have my spirits do, because they told me to do it. So if they telling me to do it, and I know that they just needed a little bit of a battery to put in their car, so that they put when what was that Fast and the Furious, when you hit that NOS gas to give them that quick pop so the car go like that. That's all they needed from me. I know they won the race. Period. If only one side of the family comes through an ancestral divination, is that because they were more spiritually inclined? No. When you're doing an ancestral divination, you're supposed to be calling your people, period. First and last names. So if you're only calling one side of your family, then the other side of the family is not going to come up. You know what I'm saying? The ones that come up are the ones that you call. Sometimes there'll be another that will step forward, but in that moment, then we got to try to identify who it is. And most times, my spirits won't let them through, because if you're not sure and we're not sure, then we don't open the door to them. They got to stand on the other side of that gate. You know what I'm saying? And the information, they're gonna have to give it to the ones that we are sure about, and we'll get it that way. But nah, you have to know. It's specific when we do the ancestral divinations. You are calling specific first and last names of persons, right? And then whoever decides to speak in that message, there's a main person that speaks, but as we go through it, if there's others that use different tools to communicate, then it's only going to be based off the list that you provided. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it'll be like, there's somebody from the paternal side of the family that needs recognition, and I'll ask, because because I'm intuitive, and my spirits is snitching. Sometimes we can see, like, it's your dad's side, it's his mom, who's coming through. I don't know her name, and she's not giving me her name, but she's telling me that if you find this, she'll tell me, the spirit will tell me what you need to look at to get their information. And so most times they'll leave it at that, because that's energy that you have to put into finding that part of your family, and that one thing will open up the door for you to find the rest, if that makes sense. It has nothing to do with them being more spiritually inclined. It's really about the energy, because the spirit has to have been either a good person in life to have enough energy to cross over to this earthly realm to communicate. If they weren't good people when they died, or they did a lot of stuff that they had to repent for, then it takes time for them to be able to cross over to even give information to the intuitive. For example, I had an ancestor who, so we've been doing this forever, right? And she came to me, how did she come? I don't even remember how she came. I don't remember where the name came from. I don't remember. All I know is that I looked at my ancestral altar and her name was there. And it's in my handwriting, so I wrote it, right? And then she needed some elevation, and it was because she had done a few things when she was alive that was a little sketchy, you know what I'm saying? But overall, she was a good woman. And she said to us, it took a little bit of time for me to get enough energy to come through for this. But I thank y'all for the work that you've done, because I've never met this woman in my life. I never knew her. I had to call my grandmother to even find out, Grandma, who the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? And my grandmother remembered, and my grandma was like, oh, that's such and such and such and such. So she started giving us the information. And as we started to talk about her energy started to get more, because remember, it's memory that we're triggering, right? So the more we started to talk about, so then I call my brother, I call other people, I call the rest of my family. I'm like, yo, this such and such such has happened. You had his name on your altar. So now the family's talking about her name. The family's talking about her. So her energy and her memory is being bounced from me to my grandmother, to my mother, to my brother, to my sister. My cousin came over and my nephew came over. So it was just like her energy bouncing, bouncing, bouncing like that, right? All of the family is now thinking about her. She got enough of a boost to come through and start straight up telling everything. I was like, this is lit. She told me what she wanted. I did it. She told me what she needed. I did it. Then she went and started fucking with my mother. And I was like, good to go. Enough energy for her to float. And now she floating. You know what I'm saying? She up there. It's going up. You know what I'm saying? All she needed was recognition. All she need, and sometimes that's all it takes for them. And this is not someone who was wicked, who did a bunch of fucked up stuff, who was mean, who was horrible, and like none of that kind of stuff. Everything that she did, she trying to protect herself and her family. But you know, again, I tell y'all, when you deal in this spirit, there's certain things that there's limits that you supposed, there's limits that you have, and there's rules. You know what I'm saying? And if nobody tells you the limits or the rules, you just think that you could get away with doing anything, and you don't realize until you die when you trying to find light. This shit ain't, I'm not really in the place where the light's at. You know what I'm saying? Like, somebody help. And if your family ain't doing the spiritual work, you're stuck. You know what I'm saying? And she was stuck for a minute. You know what I mean? And it was just by the grace of God that, and the works that we've done, that I don't know where her name came from. It popped one day and I wrote it down, and then I didn't, and then she came up again, and then that's when I had to ask. I was like, wait a minute. Does anybody else have this name on their altar? And my sister was like, yeah, you gave it to me. And my brother was like, yeah, you gave it to me. My cousin was like, yeah, you gave it to me. And I was like, well, it bugged me out, because then I couldn't remember where I got it from and what happened. So then I called my grandmother, and my grandmother called me, as a matter of fact. And my grandmother is 91 years old. Bitch, she had all the information, all the details. That's all it took. Then it went to my mother. My mother's grand bruja. That bitch was like, oh, bang, 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 bang. And that was it. You know what I mean? So the work is extremely important. It pays off. It does not happen overnight for some that need more light and more energy, and that was further down the line for ancestors than others, because this wasn't like a first grandmother, aunt, or none of that kind of stuff. She was a little bit removed as far as the lineage is concerned, but she's ours. You know what I'm saying? She got my blood in her, bitch. I'm coming for you. Come, we got you, ma. You know what I mean? So it just solidified, and it did a little, because I got faith, don't get it twisted, but it gave a little something to my heart, that I was just like, for a spirit to be like, I thank you. I melted. I fucking melted. I ain't gonna hold you. I melted, like, oh my God. Because it was like, we do it effortlessly. We do it without expecting anything back from them. And to be validated from your own blood that needed your help, and you didn't even know consciously the help that they needed, but you were just giving it and just doing it and just being obedient and just following it and just rolling with it and just trusting in it and just having faith in it. And for them to come through and be like, yo, I thank you, because I needed it and it helped. And so I'm going to help you, and I'm going to help y'all. And even my own blood, because she has kids, and she said she felt like she was forgotten by her own closest ancestors. And we didn't even know her in life, but it was because of the work that we've done diligently that allowed her to be free. y'all don't even understand how that feels. I was so fed in that moment that the work that we've put into this is not in vain, and that I'll never stop. I'll never stop. You know what I'm saying? Because it works. And I need y'all to understand how it works, that it works. And this was a long time coming for her because she been dead for a long time. I'm talking over 50 years. You know what I'm saying? And y'all can do the same thing is the point. There's so many people in your line that you don't even know about that are benefiting from you getting it together and from you doing the work and from you putting in the work and for you being diligent in what you're doing and holding steadfast and being that one in your family line that holds on to that chain to pull the rest of them up. Like that shit is like it's crazy. But the world will have you think that this shit don't work and that it's black magic and that it's this and it's this and it's that. And baby, let me explain something to you. It is everything. When a spirit comes to you and says, thank you, I needed it. And y'all gave it to me. And y'all didn't even know what y'all were doing in the moment that y'all were doing it, but y'all did it. And I am here and I got y'all back. What do you need? That's it. So as crazy as we started in the beginning of this is how we gonna end this to understand the full circle moment that it takes to do all of this kind of stuff for your folks and for your people. And it is possible and it is doable and it is something that our has been taken away from our people because it has been ingrained in our mentality that what we are doing is wrong, and that is because it cuts you off from your lineage. And I'll never be cut off from my lineage. So don't let nobody cut you off from your lineage and let go of the fear of the unknown, because the spirit, it is unknown until spirit reveals it to you. They say nobody knows what lies at the bottom of the earth's surface until it's brought. Nobody knows what lies at the bottom of the ocean until it's brought to earth's surface. And that's when spirit allows you to see it. You understand what I'm saying? For years I looked down on. Listen, you can't worry about what nobody else is worried about, right? That's on them. They gonna bless you. I wanna. I'm sorry, I ain't see nothing. Thank you, baby. It is very much important work. You are the result of the blessing of an unbroken lineage. I pray more people get to experience the beauty of this kind of elevation because it's so sweet. It is everything. You know what I'm saying? It is everything. And I took a lot of hits, you know what I'm saying, to get here. But it is in the strength that I have, and my mother is so funny because old people be on YouTube, so she be on YouTube, and she was like, yo, I just sat there and watched your videos, and I'm sitting here cracking the hell up. She was like, if I don't know what my purpose was in this life, it was to give birth to you, because baby, you are on and popping, and that was something else in itself that my mom said to me not a week ago, you know what I mean? And it just validates the work that I've done to get to where I am. To like stand up, I stepped out on faith with this, y'all, for real, for real. And I was very much nervous in the beginning because I didn't want to be in the front line. I didn't want to be online. I didn't want to have my face out there. I didn't want, I don't like people like that. You know what I mean? So I didn't really want to be out there. But I've always been that person that people gravitated towards and just would just come randomly and tell me all their business. And I just be like, why is this person talking to me? You know what I mean? But I always had sound advice because I tell you all the time, I used to talk and speak to spirits since I was 2 years old, so it was nothing for them to take my lips and to say what it is that they needed to say. And it's so funny because that's how my grandmother used to get it when she was a child. And you know, my great grandmother who raised my grandmother knew that my grandmother as a child would just spirit would use her to just give a message or whatever. So people would come and act like they was coming to talk to my great grandmother, but they really was coming to talk to my grandmother, who was a child. She was under 10 at the time. So it was just, and that's just how my family comes, right? So it was just so much validation for me that I was doing something good and I was doing something right. And it was not only it wasn't being helpful to other people, but it changed my life. You know what I'm saying? It changed, it saved my life, I gotta be honest. And that is why I come the way that I come, and I'm serious about what I do because it's not a game. And I see the things that it's done for myself, and it's done for my life, and it's done for my family, and it's done for my lineage, and it's done for my ancestors and stuff. And it's just like those that squander their gifts and just out here playing, it's very disrespectful to those of us who put everything we got into this and understand our people do not have to be where we are if we do the things that we are supposed to do. We have an anointing and we have a blessing and we have a connection and we have something that nobody else walking this earth without melanin in their body has. And if we don't understand what the universe and Most High has given us and utilizing that to the best of our ability, then we are wasting everything and the opportunity and the chance and the human experience that we've been given to consolidate that with our spiritual experience and understand how powerful we were meant to come here and be. The jobs that we were sent here to do. And who sent us? Nobody but us. Because our Ories selected this. Our heads decided to be here on this plane at this time, in this moment, to do what it is that our ancestors were killed for doing. And now we have the freedom, the ability, the resources, the chance, the time to do all of these things. Let's get it done now. Because we may not get another window of opportunity like we have now that we haven't had in at least 200 years to be free to practice, to be free to be so openly honest about our walk, to be open and honest about what we are working towards and who we truly are. There is no reason for us to be anybody except for who we came here to be. And I'm gonna leave y'all with that. Um, Let me just see. Y'all said some stuff. Hold up. Where do I start? I want to start at all time. I want to be able to listen to spirit. I don't want nobody messing with me no more. Where do you start? You got to know your ancestors, baby. You start with the ones that you knew. You start with the ones that were good folks. You start with the ones that you know were good people, and you start with them. If you start giving light and energy and communicating with them, you start praying to your own Ori. You start making sure that you start a spiritual routine as far as cleansing your body, your head, your house, your prayer time, your meditation time, your grounding time, and start looking at your life and seeing what changes do I need to make for me. When you elevate, they elevate. It's help to think about how each of your ancestors were their own people with their own strengths and weaknesses and challenges, and it helps you to have compassion for yourself and others 100%. Because everybody wants to be empathic but have no empathy, and that's a problem because that's part of the word. You know? I said before in my post, you never know your mother until you hear her explain to you some of her upbringing and some of her story, because a lot of people sit in judgment of their elders and never understand the type of abuse that they experienced, and that the fact that they are able to still be here and have cognizant thoughts and decisions and not be drug addicts and alcoholics and do the best that they could. You could have been in such a worse off position if you understand the life that she had to survive to still be here, for you to be born. You start to understand how she turned out the way she turned out. Why can't I stop talking and keeping you in the business when I need to shut the fuck up? No, it's you. You the evil spirit that don't know how to shut up. Learn how to be quiet. Difficult needs. Good night, my darling. Um, if you can't control yourself, you don't. You know it ain't no evil spirit. Learn to shut up. Identify why you can't be quiet. Baby, that's everything. I know your house feel light as hell. You wash your walls with water and ammonia. That ammonia cuts like nobody's business. I think that anytime you do some spiritual, I always put that in my mop water, my Swiffer water. I put it in a bottle, a spray bottle with other stuff, and I spray it on the Swiffer with the wet mop and go through my house. So I put it in a bucket and mop my floors with that ammonia. That when after you clean your floor in your house with ammonia, that energy be real light. Oh my God, I love it. I go to sleep like a baby all the time. Everybody gotta get their witching on. Everybody gotta learn herbs. Everybody has to learn recipes. Y'all need to start putting y'all recipe books together for the different herbs. I don't want to hear basil, rosemary, and lavender. That is not the end all be all. Yes, they work. Yes, we use them. What goes along with it? There are 999 million herbs. You should not always use the same herbs over and over and over and over again. Switch up your recipes because the energy changes from time to time. Your situation is not always the same. The energy that's coming your way is not always the same. The energy that you picked up is not always the same. Remember, the remedy, the solution, the fix has to match the energy that you are up against or being bombarded with at the time. And there is nothing but nature that gives you 999,000 different ways to defeat something. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, he was cutting that energy in the house, and that lets you know that your father knew more than what he was telling you. So, if he is still alive, I suggest you go over there and have some conversations with him. If he is not still alive, I suggest you go over there and have some conversations with him because Daddy knows some stuff. Okay? Um, let's talk bathe. I did cilantro, cinnamon, and cloves. Broom was going to soak in it, but you tell me. Cilantro is good to clean your hair with. It's one of those herbs. It's good for purifying. Cinnamon and cloves are very protective. Um, there's nothing wrong with that recipe at all whatsoever. I wouldn't soak in it though. I would make it like a tea and pour it over my body. But I would add something extra to it because you have the cilantro, which is cleansing and purifying, and then you have the cinnamon and the cloves, which is more of protecting. What is it that so when you're looking at a recipe like that, what are you trying? What's the outcome, right? What is it that you're trying to do? You trying to clean, you trying to purify, you trying to push something off of you, you feeling heavy. Like, tell me what's the issue so we'll know whether or not that is the proper recipe for what you got going on. Because yes, Veronica, there is roots, barks, and herbs. I'm a big root work user. I'm a big bark user. Y'all know how I feel about the plants. I'm a big plant person. Everybody should have a proteoso, Siempre Viva, or Leaf of Life plant. That's all one in your house. That's one plant that got 3 different names. Everybody should have one growing in their house, right? I have cotton that's growing in my house that I have been growing for 2 years now. I thought that in the wintertime the cotton was going to die and I wasn't going to have no cotton. That motherfucker ain't die at all. It has been kicking off leaves since I planted it 2 years ago, and I planted it from a cotton seed. I buy heirloom seeds off of Etsy for any kind of plant. I got a Vencedor plant that I've had for 5 years. Every year it look like this plant is going to die. What happens in the wintertime, the green parts turn brown, and then little green shoots start to come out of there. That plant won't die for nobody's business. I got a palm tree. I live in New York. Did I tell you I live in New York? I had a palm tree that refused to die in my house. I keep my plants very much... for the most part, well, I have like 30 plants in my bedroom, but I have a room that gets full light where a couple of my altars are. And if you have an altar room that gets full sunlight, put some plants in there. Your spirits will take care of them plants. I ask my spirits all the time to take care of the plants for me, and they absolutely do. They grow like nobody's business. You said spiritual bath, isn't it? just Epsom salt and taking baking soda. So I've been looking. Yeah, no. What kind of plant? Proteoso. It's also called Siempre Viva. SIEMPREVIVA. It's also called the leaf of life plant. They sell them on Etsy. Cotton plant is for purification, cleansing and purification. It's called in the Spanish botanicas. It's called algodon, ALGODON, or cotton plant. Cleansing and purification. That's Obatalas plant. You use that to clean your body, clean your head all day. Um, Amazon sells Arasa Contoro plants, which is destroy it all. Amazon also sells Abre Camino, which is the open road plant. You're looking for rooted plants. They sell these joints rooted. So all you got to do is get a dirt in a pot to repot it, because they always come in a pot that's too small, that's choking the herbs. If you ever get a plant that you buy from some place that's rooted, you got to change it from the pot that it's in, because when you open it, the roots is jammed in them little pots. They use that just for shipping. You have to open that out. I use organic soil in my highlights on Instagram. I'll show y'all the type of soil that I use. I get that joint off of Amazon as well. And I'll go to Home Depot and buy dehydrated manure. It does not smell like boo-boo at all. I sometimes add a little bit of that. And then when I'm changing my altar waters, if the water is not dirty or murky, or even like today after I finish this reading, my water has bubbles like this, which is pure energy that came from my spirits. What do I do with this water at the end of this live? I go take this water and pick a plant and pour it in there. It's giving energy right into my soil. You use the cotton plant for baths. You use the cotton plants for cleansings. You use the cotton plants for head washes. You use the cotton plant for anything like that. You can also anytime you get plants or herbs, I always tell people to dry some, keep some dried. You'll think that it's dry if that motherfucker, when you put it in your hand, if it don't crunch, it ain't dry just yet. So you let it dry all the way out, and you jar it or you bag it so that you always have some of that to use. And then you can also crush it and make it into a little powder, because that's what incense is made of. Incense is made of different dried plants and herbs and stuff, and then they add oils and stuff to it for the scent. But it's basically plants and herbs and stuff that's in your incenses. So I use that to make up my incenses as well, depending on what kind of incense I'm trying to make. So I'm trying to make something that's going to purify the air or the energy in my house. I'll add a little bit of that to it as well. You know what I mean? And in the cotton plant, at some point, it does produce a cotton bulb. You know what I mean? So it gives you actual cotton. You know? My goal is to take away any stagnant energy. I want to purify, also bring in protection. How you feel about black walnut hulls? I don't use black walnuts on my body. I take black walnut as a herbal supplement to cleanse out any parasites that I have in my body, right? It's really good for parasite cleansing on the inside. But walnut, I'm not big on using that in a bath. Why? Old school rules. Nothing grows underneath a walnut tree. Only a walnut and grass to grow underneath a walnut tree. You can't plant nothing else underneath a walnut tree and think that it's going to grow. So anything like that, I won't put on my body. It's a little strong. It's very strong, to be honest with you. So even if you're taking it as a herbal supplement, you have to be very careful, because some people's bodies and their intestines and their stomachs have a little reaction if you're doing too many days or too many milligrams of the black walnut. And so I think about that when I'm doing cleansing on my body, because I'm understanding how it works when I'm consuming it in my body. So I really don't use walnut for things of that nature. In my highlights on my Instagram page, I have herbs. I have about 25 to 30 different herbs in there that you can make up a different recipe and utilize those types of herbs. But I also use, here in New York, there's a botanica that's Original Botanica. It's on Webster Avenue in the Bronx. That place has been there for over 40 something years. My family's been using this botanica. They sell fresh and dried herbs. If you go to their website, I like their website. Even if you decide not to buy from their website, if you type in fresh herbs, they tell you all of the type of fresh herbs that they have. And then they tell you in English what this herb does specifically. Go there and look and see what the plant does. You know what I mean? And then if they don't have it available or if it says sold out, go to Etsy, because Etsy.com got every plant underneath the sun. There's somebody that got a botanica that have another shop on Etsy that'll sell those same plants and herbs, right? So there's always an option. The internet, although it's for spiritual information, sucks. For plants and herbs during from different botanicals, they give you all the information you need to know what you're dealing with, what you got, what this plant does. The name of the originalbotanica.com. It's on Webster Avenue in the Bronx, New York. It's been there for over 40 years. Can't miss it. They got an Instagram page. They got an Instagram page. So they also tell you the different type of resins that you can use for your incenses and how this incense is used and all. And then they have the dry packaged herbs, all that kind of stuff. I've used this website forever. I've been to this store forever. When I was a child, my mother, my grandmother used to use the store. This store has been there for over 40 years. Okay? So there's always an option. There's always something that you can do. Remember, never act out of desperation. I don't care if somebody sent the spirit to you. Your first response should be fuck that spirit and go talk to your people and find out what I need to do. Don't ever crack. Don't ever break. Don't ever let that energy get into your head. See, the when somebody throws at you or somebody does something spiritual, the first thing it's going to affect is your confidence. I'm not panicking. Ever. I don't care what you got. You could throw Satan himself at me, and because I know he's not real, I know that what you got ain't real either. And I don't care about none of that kind of stuff. I guess I be speaking over people because I'm tired of people speaking negative around me. I know they just using me to dump, but I'm so tired of being the one that comes to wash it. Don't listen. Shut that shit down. You better shut it down. You know how much energy people do that to people a lot, that know that dump is, and you be cleaning them when they do that to you. You know that, right? You take on some of that energy. Original Botanical, not the Original Botanica. Originalbotanica.com. You take on people's energy and you be letting them dump, and it be little energy parasites that be locking on to you when you be listening to them dump like that. So they feel better at the end of that, and you feel worse at the end of that. Stop doing that. I told y'all before you have conversations with people, you should be making up a little bit of oil to anoint yourself with. So on your altar, in this oil, it should have olive oil, right? It don't have to be extra herb. Olive oil, right? Olive oil, frankincense, rosemary. You can use frankincense essential oil and rosemary essential oil, but you can also crush up a little bit of the frankincense resin and sprinkle it in there. And you can also take sprigs of fresh rosemary and put it in there. What are you doing over this? You're gonna pray over it. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for God is with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. You're gonna do that, a song, right? Over that, leave it on your altar. What does that do? You want, when you talking to somebody that's, you know, they finna dump, put a Q-tip and put it in your ears. Hit your nostrils. Hit your crown. Hit the back of your neck, which is the Eshani Bakwo. You can hit your over your panties, hit your cootie hole and your booty hole. What does that do? And you can also put a drop of that in your water and drink a little bit, right? It stops energetic parasites from being able to infiltrate those areas. It's like you're putting a wall up so that you have this phone to your ear. That energy is coming from their mouth to your ear. It's like you putting a little veil so that shit ain't coming into you. It's bouncing back to that person, or it's going off into the ether, but it can't come from them to you, right? So what? Every time someone I speak over them, that's why. Stop telling your business. Period. You know you do it. It's a cognizant decision from this point on for you to tell. You know what I do? What I used to do all the time? I tell spirit, when I'm about to say something I shouldn't say, pinch my lips. They'll do it. Tell your ancestors, pinch my lips. Make it so that I can't speak. Hold my tongue. I used to get to the point where I want to say something, and be like, I was sitting there like this. Tell them, pinch my lips. I give you carte blanche, right? When I'm finna say something I ain't got no business saying, and y'all know I'm working on my self-control in my mouth, pinch my lips. Please don't let me say it. You make me cough, make me sneeze. That's as far as sound is coming out of my mouth. Pinch it. They'll do it. I know that you offer classes in person, but will you be offering any virtually? I'd love to be able to attend some, but not in your area. I don't have anything in the workings right now. The next thing that I'm going to be doing is something away. So that's what I'm saying, in order for them to not dump on me because I know they're using me. I'll spill it. No, hang up. If you know it, stop it. You in control, not nobody else. Oh, you know what? I'll call you back. I just got to, somebody just beeped in my line. Let me call you back. And don't ever call back. Stop answering the phone. Period. That's it. They'll learn to stop. Oh, girl, you ain't called me back. Oh, you know what? I forgot. Matter of fact, you know what? And I'm so sorry that I did that, but I got to go right now because I'm on the phone with my mother, my grandmother, my baby, my school, my baby dad. I don't give a fuck. Say something and hang up. They'll stop until you get comfortable enough to the point where you tell them, stop dumping on me. Because I would do that too. So I don't want to hear, I would tell people all the time, if the only time you're going to call me and dump, stop. Stop. I'm not one of those people that you could talk about your problems over and over and over and over. I don't want to hear that shit. We're going to talk about it one time. After that one time, we hitting solutions in that same conversation. You come to me with that same conversation one more time, I'm spazzing. So often, but if they haven't been elevated, how is it that they are always on my mind? Are we talking about ancestors? Oh wait, I have a great great grandmother. Nobody knows her name. She passed in childbirth. Her only daughter birthed my grandmother, who passed before my mother was 10. Nobody speaks their names. I think of them. You know what I was able to do, and I don't like to tell people to do this, but it worked for me. Ancestry.com. They keep them records, baby. They keep them records like nobody's business. So at first, what I did was I did vitalrecords.org for the state that they lived and or died in. Will give you a birth and or a death certificate. So if she had a child, you would have to do reverse record searching, right? So vitalrecords.com at the time, I haven't done this in ages, but when I did it, it was like $12 per application. I just needed to know someone's name, someone's where they lived and where they died, a range of like 3 years of the time frame in which I believe that they lived in or they died. I had to send a copy of my ID to the government agency, and I got handwritten birth certificates from the 1800s. How about that? All the information. I was able to locate from signing off on the death certificate, my aunt's name, great 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 aunt, and somebody else's name was on that death certificate that I wasn't expecting. That gave me 3 ancestors' information off that one certificate. And then I did the ancestry.com, and that shit just starts spitting out old school census reports and everything. I got so much information, it's not funny. And then once you climb down that rabbit hole, they always send you alerts to of stuff that they find. So so that probably means that they're looking. You need to find them. You need to locate them, and they need a little bit of elevation. I do hear some always touching people's heads, and they definitely let me in on what's going on in their life. Most times I feel like it's heavy, but I do use a lot of energy giving feedback. You need to stop, right? Not listen. You need to have a solution to cleanse your hands in between clients, right? You also need to have a diffuser blowing in the air with essential oils that clean and purify the air, right? You also need to have your head covered. You also need to have that solution covering your holes, like I just told everybody to make if you're doing heads, because you're pulling energy directly off people, and you need to be cleaning in between clients. You know what I'm saying? And then make sure you hit your belly button with that oil, because you're standing directly behind somebody that you're pulling energy directly off of them. You also need to learn how to put yourself in a protective bubble. That bubble will last for at least 24 hours, so you need to do that every day to stop yourself from picking up energies from other people. And you need to meditate. That guided meditation is in my highlights on my Instagram page. You definitely need to be doing that. um, I need to clean myself, but I'm not even looking into where I come from. Maybe that's why why they keep being on my mind. Card, the card, find your answers. Yeah, yeah. Um, they're on your mind because you're the one that's opening the door for spirituality, right? You're the one that's starting this journey. You're the one that's paying attention. Nobody else is thinking of these ancestors. And so if you're the one that's starting this walk and you're the one that's starting to open these doors, they're gonna go for you because who else is listening to them? They know that they got your ear, and they know that the help that they are going to need is gonna come through you. And so they're gonna back everything you do as long as you enlighten spirit and truth, you know? Yeah, and then when you gotta find your voice, baby. You gonna have to bust your throat chakra open and tell them, listen. Sometimes when y'all dump is too much, and I can't handle it right now. I need you to not don't do that to me. You know what I mean? I used to have people all the time be like, I don't know why I be telling you my business. I used to tell them, so why don't you stop? Because I didn't ask you. Swear to God. They just look at me and laugh, and I'd be like, no, for real. Because you act like I came over here and asked you your business. I ain't asked you shit. You walked over here and started fucking dumping. And I'm sitting here looking at you like, I don't know why she came over here dumping on me. And you going to say, oh, I don't know why I tell you my business. Because you know goddamn well why you came over here to tell me your business. How about you stop? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, people will tell you some stories. Don't be coming over here to dump on me. You know what you should put in your shoes? You should be putting salt in your shoes. If you get a little salt packet, like when you go to the and you get fast food and they give you little salt and pepper packets, keep the little salt packet and put that in your shoes. That keeps you whenever you walk in. And when I say put it in your shoes, I usually put it like in my socks. If I'm going to do a spiritual house cleansing, I got salt in my shoes on God, because I'm walking over stuff and I'm not taking nothing home with me, and I'm making sure that I don't pick up nothing, because you got to remember that the nerve endings, or your nerve endings, meet at the bottom of your feet. So that's why a lot of people are not supposed to walk around barefoot, because they pick up energies in the bottom of their feet. So you will put that in your shoes to keep from picking up energies in places that you walk, that people are dropping a bunch of dusty energy, or you're walking someplace where you can pick up energy easily. We put that in our socks and then put our shoes on to make sure that we don't pick up nothing that way. I don't feel so heavy though. For me personally, I feel like it's a part of my journey time, but I need to find out for sure, like once I'm finding out on my purpose. Yeah, no, listen. Everybody walk ain't so heavy, you know. Sometimes it's just about finding your footing. You know what I'm saying? Your nerve endings meet at the bottom of your feet, all of them. That's why if they tell you don't walk outside with no shoes on or no socks on, you get a cold on your feet. Make sure the baby feet is covered. Your feet and your head is where your nerve endings. You know what I'm saying? Energy is where you get cold and you get sick if you ain't got shoes on and if your head ain't covered. Those are the 2 points. The same 2 points that energy you pick up very easily from. It's science. You know what I'm saying? When you do reflexology, it hits your feet. That's where all your nerve endings come in. They even sell the socks that'll tell you what organs you hit when you're doing certain massages on your toes and the bottom of your feet. Um, oh, listen, especially if you work in a museum, you know how much energy is coming in there with all of those artifacts and stuff that they're bringing in there? Oh my God. Be careful. You know what I'm saying? Don't be going in all the different places when they bringing stuff in there with your head not covered and touching stuff and all of that. Be very mindful with that, because I've had people go to different places like in Mexico where they have these ruins and motherfuckers done came back with spirits. I was like, where were you? No. I'm seeing something that looks like fucking old school Aztecian steps. Oh, yeah, I went to this fucking Mayan ruins. You know they used to kill humans over there, right? That motherfucker came back with a whole spirit. Like, y'all be careful. I was like, oh my God, I cannot. This might sound kind of weird, but do you feel like it's more intense when you're wearing black socks? No. It's not socks. I'm not a person that wears a lot of black, but I could wear black. You know what I mean? I just don't wear black on my head. Other than that, on socks, I don't feel like it's more intense on socks. No, not for me. Not to say that it's not for you, because everybody's different, but definitely not. That's not something. Um, no, not for me, baby. Yeah, a lot of y'all got to remember that spirituality and science, it kind of links up. You know what I mean? So just be very mindful of the things that you're doing, the places that you go. Every place is not safe. Any place that has like old ruins with the Aztecian and all of them, you remember they used to do human sacrifices. Those places is not always places for you to go. You know what I mean? There be spirits all over the goddamn place. It's like, oh, you need to be real careful. Um, them gloves is gonna be everything for you. Cleaning of your hands is going to be everything from you for you. Marking your points to block off your energy, putting yourself in a spiritual protective bubble of light is going to be everything for you. Cleaning yourself in between each client is going to be everything for you. We're in um make you gotta make sure you hit your belly button with that protective oil, because you're gonna be right over the people pulling, right? You gotta remember when you're doing motions, like, because I'm a certified pranic healer, right? So when we do pranic healing and we're pulling energies from people, we have to be very careful in the direction that we're taking the energy from, so that we're not pulling it this way and we're discarding it this way, so that it's not coming onto us. Because if we're doing it this way to pull the energy, we hitting ourselves with it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be very mindful in the direction that you're pulling the energy when you're massaging the stuff off the people, because sometimes it's energy that you're pulling in knots and all of that other kind of stuff that you're pulling, that's working in the muscles and stuff, but you're pulling it directly towards you. So you need to be putting yourself in a bubble of light, so that it does not penetrate your auric field. You know what I mean? um Just wondering, what does a spirit look like? How does a person see? It's very much different. Spirits are very different. I've told y'all multiple different times on multiple different types of spirits that I've seen. Whether it's and it depends on the type of spirit. You know what I mean? Because we are on Earth, we think that humanity was the first life form on Earth. That is not true. There are fae that reside here. There are nature energies that used to live here prior to us that don't look like humans. They look partially human, but they don't look all the way human. It really depends on the spirit, what it looks like. You know what I mean? How elevated it is, because the spirit can change its identity. The way that you see it anyway, depending on what kind of spirit it is, how elevated it is, where it's coming from. You know what I mean? I'm touching damn nigga from the heaviest fucking certain areas. So in my mind, I don't. You gotta clean yourself, baby. Real careful. Thank you, patience. Just the directions matter. My God, salt and vinegar hand wash right now. How do I clean between the soil? You gotta make a spiritual spray that you put in there that you clean your hands with, right? Think of remember the herbs and stuff that you take in a spiritual bath. You put that shit in a bottle, add a little bit of some type of a cologne to it, something that has alcohol in it that'll extend its life, and keep that in a spray bottle that you keep sitting right there on the thing that you spray in between clients, and make sure that you have those oil diffusers that you burning them, blowing them essential oils in the air to clean the air as you're doing that stuff. When we do pranic healing, we have to have buckets of blue bowls of salt water around the room, because when we're cleaning the client, we gotta clean our hands to throw the energy in the salt, because salt dissipates negative energy. It doesn't allow energy to transfer. You know what I'm saying? It cuts it. So that's why we have multiple bowls, little bowls of salt water in the room when we're doing pranic healing, because we have to have a place to discard the energy to get it off our hands. When we're pulling it from a client, we're pulling it straight and we're throwing it in the bucket, so that it's automatically being knocked out. You know what I mean? You may want to take some classes and get certified, because you're doing that, right? But you may want to be certified to be a pranic healer, because at the same time, you knocking out two birds with one stone. You charge good money for that. Just saying. Being a certified pranic healer, the energy that you're balancing people's chakras with that. You have to remember that the chakras affect your organs. You know what I'm saying? So you're doing full on cleansing when you're doing that, full on pulling stuff to make sure that the chakras and everything is I don't know about Reiki like that, because I didn't do that. I did it. I'm certified as a pranic healer. No, not with me. I went to a pranic healing center. What's the pranic healing center called, Tisha? Yeah. Huh? The Pranic Healing Center. What's the name of it? Remember? It's in New Jersey. Um, um, the what you call it? The meditations that's in my highlights on Instagram, that's the school that I went to. So that school is in, there's one in New Jersey. I'm in New York, right? So there's one in New Jersey, there's one in Brooklyn, but they do have them in different states because I've seen them because they send me emails all the time.
Oh, it's just called
Um,
the Center for Chronic
it's called the
Healing,
Center for Chronic Healing.
Lyndhurst, New Jersey.
And the one that I went to is in Lyndhurst, New Jersey, right? But they have them all over the place. I know that in New York, there's one in Brooklyn. They have them in Chicago. They do classes in LA. I've seen them all the time. It's a huge center. Like, it's a huge company that does the certified pranic healing. So I went there, and sometimes they'll give you a course that you get the whole levels of certification for, like, depends on how far you want to go with it. But they have a website, so just Google it, look it up, see where they have the classes. Oh yeah, so they have one in Brooklyn, definitely in Brooklyn. They definitely got one in Brooklyn. And I think they black there too. So, but the one I went to, they're um, Indian. Um, cause prana is energy. That's Hindu. You know what I mean? And I have Hindu spirit guides. So I have, remember, everything works with spirit. Because so when I went there, I didn't realize that my Hindu spirit guides was going to be the ones to step forward to doing a cleanser, baby. They came right out and was like, this is our shit. We're here to help. And I was like, oh, true. I love it. You know what I'm saying? So my Hindu court stepped up on God and was like, yeah, get right there. Get right there. Get right there. And I was like, oh shit, I'm lit. You know what I mean? This spiritual walk is funny because I didn't know that they would be I was told by my ancestors, you need to go and get certified to be a prana killer. And I was like, why the fuck I'm going there? They be like, bitch, because you be touching people. And I was like, oh, okay. So I went and I did the certifications. I paid the money. I took the classes. I took the courses, all of that other kind of shit. And when I was in there, I saw the spirit guide step forward, and I was like, oh shit. And she was like, bitch, what do you think prana means? And I was like, I forgot. I wasn't even thinking Hindu court, Hindu gods, Hindu goddesses, and prana. And then when I went in there, I had saw a blanket of and it had one of my spirit guides on it. And I was like, oh shit, I love that blanket. Let me get it. And that's when it clicked. They was like, you slowed in the motherfucker. I was like, what, bitch? I'm here. So let me tell you something. I don't be nowhere all the time. Why I'm doing something, why I'm doing this. The spirit told me to do it, I'm going to do it. When I get there is when I realize, oh shit, this is why. You know what I'm saying? It feeds them because that's what they used to do. That's what they know. So I'm getting the clarity of what I'm doing, but I'm still in spirit getting the back end of it because I'm cheating because they coming in to help. Did I know I was going in and was going to be cheating because they was coming to help? No. I was just being obedient to spirit and going and doing what they told me to do. So that's why they tell me, bitch, you're going to be lit at this because I forgot I got the whole Hindu court in here. This the shit that this is them. Sanskrit, this them. This the books, all of that original stuff. That's they shit. I ain't know. I ain't know. They just told me to spend the money. And I was like, damn, that's a lot of money. And it was like, you going to go do it. And I was like, fine. Shout out to that. I needed this case of massage. Reiki is two different things. I choose massages because everything was doing hair business. Yeah, 100%. You ask your spirit, is it in my best interest? Always ask your spirit, is it in my best interest to do this? Yes or no. Is it in my best interest to do this? Yes or no. They'll tell you where it's for you, but if you know you got a Hindu court, pranic healing is where it's at. Because they're going to step up to do that work because that's they shit. You know what I mean? All right, my darlings. I'm getting off of here. It's been 2 hours. I did not mean to be here this long. I get to rambling. I don't know what the hell I be talking about. So, for those of you who are going to be in the New York area, April 12th, 2025, Saturday, we got the spiritual protection class. That's my last one that I'm going to be doing for quite some time. After that, I spoke about my thoughts with the cleansing bath with the blue one and the anneal. I don't have no problem with that. That's old school. You know what I mean? But you got to add plants with that. You know what I mean? You got to add some plants in there with that. Remember, anything that we do must come from the earth. which is plants, because it had a energy, it had a life force, it was connected to source, it was connected to something that gives off energy from the core of the earth, right? So blueing, yes, blueing is calming, blueing is cleansing. When I was growing up, my grandmother always used to put blueing, um, cascarilla or efun, and then whatever herbs she would boil down as a tea, and mix those things together and put it in a spiritual bath. And she used to line up all the grandkids and give them spiritual baths and that. So we use blooming all the time. You know what I'm saying? It's just always we put um herbs in there with it, you know, but not all the time. When I say all the time, I mean from time to time. I always mix up my recipes. I always do something different. Because I'm a crown priestess of Shango, I have different recipes that I do with the Orisha. But I'm also a paletta, so I have different recipes that I do with Palo. But I also practice hoodoo, because that's what my spirit guides and my ancestors do. So I go with the recipe that the spirit tell me to use. If I know what's going on with me and I know how I'm feeling and I know what needs to be removed, I go to my spirits and I start asking them about the recipes of what I should be using, whose stuff I'm supposed to be using, who's agreeing to clean me right now, who's agreeing to help me right now, and that's the recipe that I go with. If it and what I will do, remember I told you I have plants and different stuff in my house, so they'll have me just straight up walk into a room and I'll hit a plant by accident and a leaf will fall off the tree. So I'll grab that and I know y'all want me to use this. What goes along and coincides with this particular herb, right? I'll start looking up plants or start looking in my room to see whatever plant that I have in here goes along with this, and I'll start grabbing, and then they start talking. People always call me and ask me, oh, I don't know what to use for this, that, and third. And I'll be like, did you ask your spirit? And they be like, no. As soon as I give them two herbs, their spirit will jump in and be like, yeah, now grab this, 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 and this. And I'll be sitting there laughing because I heard it, right? So I'll be like, what your spirit told you to grab? She was like, she said, yeah, to those two, and then go get these. I was like, why? Stop asking me. Ask them first. All you doing is asking me, which is going to kick up the energy, because once the spirit hear you start talking, they're going to jump right in. So why don't you start with them, because they only the persons that I'm listening to anyway. I'm not giving you nothing that I ain't hear from them. I ain't the one making this shit up. It's them. I just heard it, and I'm just telling you what the fuck I heard. So why don't you ask them before you ask me? They're going to tell you the same shit they told me. How are they going to tell you? You going to walk past it, you going to see it. You want to open your phone and just be going through your fucking feed for just whatever, and all of a sudden you gonna see this dumbass plant pop up on your feed. They do that shit all the time. You know what I'm saying? Hold on, man. I had some blood call from his mother. I don't want to be spiritually sleeping with his mom because they connected. Oh, baby, that's the hard one. The men and their mamas. That's a rough one. Especially if she is one of those mamas who's doing stuff to make sure that her child is connected to her. That is not a bond. That's a fight like nobody's fight, and I wouldn't tell nobody else to do that fight, because I had that fight before and I had to tap out. Okay? I had to tap out of that fight, because that was one that you can't win with him and his mom. If he's not ready to do that, you fighting an uphill battle, and there's really, it don't matter if you have a baby or not. It's never gonna be. Remember that whole free will thing? He has the free will to do whatever he needs and or wants to do. And if you have an open conversation with him and he still doesn't change it, and I can almost guarantee that you're not the first one to have this issue where he is concerned, it is not going to change. I wouldn't wish, baby, I wouldn't wish a mama's boy on my worst enemy either. Honey, baby, no. Because mine was, she was spiritual and she tried to kill me over her son. So I don't play that game. I'll tell you right now, if you got an issue with that if you have that open dialogue with him and he don't make no changes, good luck to you, baby, because you fighting an uphill battle that you're not gonna win. And that's not a fight that I'm willingly gonna walk into. I had to choose me over him because nobody was getting hurt but me in the process. That bitch tried to kill me. Okay? I was done. I was like, oh, you can have him, you can have her, all of y'all, I'm gonna be over here. Y'all stay over there. Don't nobody call me, don't write me, don't fax me, don't email me, don't page me. That was my introduction into the spiritual walk. Her trying to fucking murder me. Okay? She tried to unalive you because, yeah, on God. She buried me everywhere. Now, when I say everywhere, that means it's overseas, multiple different lands. That bitch got on a boat, a plane, everything she could think of. Yeah, that was my defining moment. I was like, you know what? You know what they say, things you do for love? I learned to love me. And I tapped out. I tapped right the fuck out because that fight was so. I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. That bitch was not playing with me. Okay, you hear what I'm saying? This was how I got into my spiritual walk. My ancestors was like, what you gonna do? And I was like, what y'all gonna do? And they was like, you gotta come over here and be spiritual 10 toes down. And I was like, and then what else? And they was like, and they gotta go. Him, her, them, it, they, everybody that got their last name, bloodline, all that. I was like, they could go. They was like, all right, come over here, we'll pull you out. And I was like, okay. I came over here, and that's how I started my spiritual journey, fighting my way out of holes, because that bitch was not playing with me over her child. You hear what I'm saying? And I didn't even do nothing. I wasn't even doing nothing spiritual at all. At all whatsoever. I was just handling my ancestors, being very regular, minding my business, loving her son, all of that kind of stuff. And she was like, that bitch won't take my baby. I was like, what? He came to me. Well, God. So yeah, I told you, I mentioned that before in my live. So I be repeating my shit because you gonna repeat a lie over and over and over again. It's the truth. Listen. That's why now let me find a man that has a mother that's still alive and she in the spiritual shit. If that bitch better come in floating on a white light and a white carpet with Olodumare and Obatala sitting on that motherfucker with an elephant tusk underneath. I was, all right, you keep him. I don't want it. I need a nice solitary man whose people have passed on, who are just very much not into anything spiritual. Like, I'm not doing that again. That fight was like, ooh. Let me tell you something. That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. And that's how I know how to tell people to wax other people's asses, because that's how the ancestors brought me into my spiritual journey as an adult. War. War. What's a good bruja repellent? My ex-man's karmic is doing bruja cut. He want me and I don't want him. Um, that's specific to you. I don't know. It depends on what the work is. What the work is. What is the repellent that you're supposed to be using? I can't tell you that. Not without reading it. You know what I mean? Here I go again. You keep that's not a question that somebody could just tell you. Like, it has to be specific to your situation. We don't know what they're using, right? You keep saying bruja, but she could be using palo. She could be using different spirits. She could be using different things from different lands. And when I say different lands, that's different tierras. That's different areas. Like, so when I say tierras, that's like you have palo, raw nature energies. You have orisha, which is higher forces of energies. You have like the 21 divisions, which they can, depending on which ones you got, there's different levels in that sect of spirits, right? There's different levels of spirits, and so the solution to your problem has to match the work in that person is given to you. That energy has to be able to combat that or handle that. So without knowing what that person is doing, there's no way for a spiritualist on any level to tell you what's the best route for you. We got to take that to spirit and ask them, all right, what the fuck is this bitch doing? What is she using? What we got that can combat that and win? You know what I'm saying? Not only that, what spirit is willing, knowing what she got going on, to go in there and snuff her fucking lights out. You know what I'm saying? We got to know that, and we don't know that unless we're divining to talk to the spirit so that they can go in there and look behind the scenes and see what's going on, because they the ones who give us the recipes. They the ones who give us the remedies. They the ones who tell us what we need to be doing in order, because they could see what she did specifically. Remember I said we don't guess. We don't chance. We don't try. We go with what spirit said, because if they said that they got it, they got it. Period. Hands down. We just got to follow instructions and follow directions on what they said to do. You understand? It's not a guess. We don't guess at this at all whatsoever. Specific. When I go to my Palo and I know that somebody's doing X, Y's, and Z's, I'm not questioning questioning shit. I go to them and they say, yeah, bring it to me. If Lucetto say, I got it. All I gotta do is go to Lucetto and be like, okay, Baba, what you need? He gonna tell me, bring me this, bring me this, bring me this, bring me that. Do this, do this, do this, do that. You got this amount of days. On this day, you do this. Do it exactly like I fucking told you to do it. Ain't no question. He just told me every the fuck thing that I need to do, how I need to do it, where it needs to go when it's done, all that kind of shit. How many days, yada, 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 all of that kind of stuff. That means whatever I do here on the physical and the spiritual, he taking all of that shit and going out there and losing his fucking mind on somebody. That ain't my business. He said do that. At the end of it, do I know that he got it? He told me to do it. Cheche by cheche. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Well, she Peruvian, her and her mother know that they can take me physically, so they turn to Bruja and been getting a lot of setbacks in my life, but I understand we can't guess. You must know exactly. I want my justice. Yeah, you gotta, if she could take you physically, you wouldn't be here. How about that? Again, I say y'all give y'all enemy too much power. I'm God's child. Can't nobody take me until God say I ain't supposed to be here no more. So y'all can suck everything that I got. I would never say that. That's giving her way too much power. She could take, no, can't nobody take me nowhere but God. And God said you gonna be here banging on these niggas until you old and gray. So everything we allow happen to you is for you to learn something. So I'm going to learn from it what I need to learn from it. I'm going to overcome everything that I'm supposed to overcome, and I'm going to move on, because that bitch won't pop my ticket. She won't punch my ticket. Only God can choose when I'm going to not be here. Not no human, not no bitch, and not nobody going over here to work with no spirits, because my energy and my spirit is too strong for all of that. Y'all got me fucked up, and it's never gonna happen. I'll never tell nobody or say out my mouth that somebody can take me when they want to. Ain't no way. You don't give your enemy that much fucking clout, that much energy, that much nothing. Ain't no way. God get to choose that, not you sons of bitches. Never. Beat her down. Beat her down. You know what I'm saying? All the way down. Yeah, listen. Your peoples is without my ancestors, I don't know where I would be. I don't know where I would be. But I know that 100% of the time I'll never figure it out, because I don't have to. I'm always going to rock with my folks. I'm always going to rock with my spirit guides. I know that God has put my help closer than I ever could have imagined, and he gave me a team like nobody's business. And I love them with everything that I got, because, baby, they stand up for me. They stand down for me. They use hands, feet, necks, all kinds of shit on other people, and that's because they protecting me, because they gonna get my justice, and they gonna make sure that I'm here to do the works that I'm supposed to do, and I'm supposed to fulfill the contract that I signed and said that I was coming here to do. So if I'm keeping my end of the deal, they gonna keep their end of the deal, and that's that on that. You know what I'm saying? That's right. Your enemies only make you stronger. They don't realize that they're making you stronger when they hit you with the attack, because God got your back. And God got your back by sending your ancestors, your spirit guides, and everybody that come in with them straps and them things ready to bang out for you. Right? And if you're smart enough, you know how to awaken all of that stuff to know that your army ain't to be fucked with. And my army ain't to be fucked with. And your armies ain't to be fucked with. It's just about knowing who you got in your army, what kind of energy you need to be giving them, which is good, light, energy, spirit, and truth. You know what I'm saying? And everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out for you. Not everything is fucking roses and happiness and sunshines and rainbows. That's not this earth. That's not life. That's not reality. But with every blow that you take, you better have learned the lesson from that blow and learn how to. This boxing, bitch. People get hit in boxing all the time. You gotta learn how to use your breath, right? That's breath work, meditation. You gotta learn how to use your footwork. Get the fuck out the way. Sometimes shut up and mind your business. Sometimes move. You know what I'm saying? That's grounding. That's figuring out your motion, right? You gotta learn how to guard your grill. You gotta learn how to uppercut. You gotta learn how to shoot combos. That's learning in everything to become a champion. Spirituality is no different. This earth is no different. Your walk is no different, right? Discipline, routine, ritual, faith, trust, fortitude, light, spirit, and truth. That's it. Yeah, you keep wanting to see your justice. You coming from the wrong angle. You ain't got no faith. If you have faith, you know that your justice is coming because they told you what to do. But you got to ask them, what am I supposed to do? And then follow suit. Because Spirit will watch you and make sure that you do what you're supposed to do for the full extent of the time that you're doing it, not just for a moment to receive something. If they know that you're doing something just to receive something, they're going to play with you because you're playing with them. And they're going to let you know that you can't play them. Either you in it for real or you not. And if you're not in it for real, they're gonna play the game with you. And it's gonna be this back and forth game of tennis forever, and that's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? There's no what's a dark angel? Spirits of balance, right? Everybody has dark and everybody has light. That's the full balance of life, right? You get half of the day in light, you get half of the day in sun. You get moon in the night, you get the sun in the daytime. You get fucking, you know what I'm saying, 50-50. That's balance. People be balanced. It's not about dark and light. It's about being balanced. I have the ability to do a great number of things. However you want to swing this bat, baby, we could go left or we could go right. That's the balance of who I am. And that's the balance of who you are, because that's the balance of the world that you live on. That's the balance of earth. That's the balance of humanity. That's the balance of spirit. That's the balance of this realm, dark and light. So it's about you walking that fine line in the middle and using what you're supposed to be using at the right time. You're supposed to be using it without dipping too much this way or too much this way. You stay the course. And spirit will let you know what it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? It like when you received your war? When I received my warriors? What you mean? What, the ceremony in itself? I'm a little different. I was 2 weeks old when the Orisha first came to my mother for me. So they've always been prevalent in my life, you know. My grandmother's 91. She's crowned Obatala. You know what I mean? So we've always had a relationship with not only the ancestors, but with Orisha. So my walk is a little bit different from other people because Orisha have always been prevalent in my life because that's been my upbringing. You know what I'm saying? So when I had the ceremony to actually receive them and bring them into my home, it was kind of like not really any different from them already being here, because like when I had a problem, I would go to my grandmother to go deal with her legwa and her ogun on God. Like, I'm coming over here. Grandma, you home? Yeah, come over here. I gotta go talk to your legwa. I need help. You know what I'm saying? So I already had a relationship with them by the time that I had the formal ceremony and the initiation and the ceremony, you know, whatever, through my Ifa, my godfather, to bring them into my home and to do the whole couple of days of whatever the fuck we had to do. You know what I'm saying? It was just anytime you have those type of ceremonies where you have an ita, which is a divination that comes at the end of receiving something, it's just a little slight nervousness of like what they finna tell me. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end, when you receive those types of things on like the third day, they talk to you. They tell you like, all right, you got to sit down with them and have a conversation with them. And now the Risha got to tell you X, Y's, and Z's about what you supposed to do, you supposed to do for them, what you supposed to do for you. The shit, you know. Now there's letters of the laws that's being dropped for you and your life path and your walk to tell you specifically from them the stuff that you required to do, and they not finna play with you. You know what I'm saying? So, for me, it's a hard question because I've always had dealings. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like out of the blue, oh, now I gotta make a big change in my life. Like, I always knew. You know what I'm saying? I always had them conversations. I always, had divinations and stuff like that. So I knew it was what. I knew it was coming. down the pipeline, and I knew I had to change shit about my life. They wasn't playing with me at all whatsoever. Oh my God, please. They was like, "Pff, you see how fiery and how all of this stuff I am? I got my ass handed. They was like, you got one shot, bitch. We'll fucking drag you for filth because you know better. Just because you know better, oh, you better listen. And I was like, say less. I wasn't that child that liked to be in trouble. You know what I'm saying? With my mother, with my father, with my grandma, with nobody. So when the spirit started telling me all that kind of shit, baby, I captain all the way. Like, what? For real, like, please. Yeah, I'm not that person. You don't gotta tell me something 1,000 times and let me get dragged and all that kind of shit, and then I'll be sitting there crying. Nope, you tell me one time, I'll be like, yes sir, yes ma'am, yes sir, yes ma'am. Cause I seen too much, and I seen them do wild style shit to people, and I'm not gonna be the one getting caught up in that dumb shit. I done seen them do some dumb shit to people, and I be like, I ain't gonna be me. No sir, you ain't gotta tell me something one time. And then I got Shango on my head. That's my father. He is don't ask me dumb shit, and if I say something one time, bitch, that's it. Whew, you kidding me? I don't play them games. I don't play them games at all. I know what they are capable of. I like living. I like living a comfortable life. I like living a peaceful life. And I'll be damned if I'll have my spirits be the ones fucking my shit up. Nope. Not for something I did. No, 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 no. I am aware of what they have the ability to trash, and it's called my life. And so I will not go against what they tell me to do. I'm one of them obedient. I'm obedient as hell. Because I remember what my life was like when I was doing me and not being spiritual and ignoring my intuition and all of the stuff that I was doing prior to me, like getting my spiritual walk together and all of this other kind of stuff. I remember what my life was like. That shit was crazy. I don't want to live like that no more. Oh my God, that shit was insanity. No mas. We made a full change, and that was a lifestyle change, baby, because I was like, I learned my lesson. I told you motherfuckers was out here trying to kill me and all that kind of shit. You think that I'm agree to do something and then falter on it? No, I said I lost 30 pounds in 30 days. They let me see clearly what was in store for me. I'll never go back on them things. I'll never go back on what I agreed to do with them. I'll never falter on the contract and the agreement that I made or none of the stuff that they told me to do. I will not. They let me see full effect what was in store for me, how this was going to play out for me. I was in the middle of living on how this was going for me already before they was like dangling the fucking white flag in front of my face like, yeah, bitch, you better grab it. And I was like, oh, look at me. I'd be a fool to resort back to past anythings. Seeing what they did for my life, I'm not, that's a fool's decision. And I don't like fool's gold. No, sir. I'm going to stick over here where the spirit will show and prove. And it's up to you to believe them. And I have full faith and trust in my folks because they have showed and proved, and they have pulled me out of fucking tumultuous situations that you just to be like, yo, how did you survive? People always want to know, like, bitch, how did you live through that? I was like, child, please, my spirits was out here kicking asses and taking names, and baby, they was hurting people. And all I had to do was do what the fuck they told me. I'm here for it. You know what I mean? I'll never go back. Never go back. Was there a long gap between the mano de kofa and your crown? Yeah. It took me over a decade to get crowned. Crazy long time. And when I finally did it, Shango was like, yo, I waited a long time for you. And I was like, I'm here now, mama. Because the longer you take, sometimes the reach should be dipping off like, yo, because you could, if you, like, they pull your head a decade ago, and you take a decade to get crowned, that Arisha don't always wait for you. Thank God Shango waited for me. You know what I'm saying? But he, like, fucking housed my whole family. He's, like, playing with my lineage at all whatsoever. Even the people that in my family that's crowned, that's not crowned Shango, he's like, yeah, they may have your head, but bitch, I got you neck down. I was like, don't look at me, because he got my head too, so I already know what the bullshit's about to be in your life. For real. So it was a hell of a long time, but it was, I had to find the right people. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't willing to trust my head with just anybody. They wasn't willing to trust my walk with just anybody. They knew that I had a path and a road that needed special stuff. And so I was very, very blessed to end up with my godfather, who is a Babalao, who prior to him being a Babalao, of course, he was Crown Shango. You know what I'm saying? So kids that he had crowned over years ago. Like my godmother now was one of his original god kids from 20 something years ago. You know what I mean? So it just put me in a proper position with Ifa to have, because once when you get a Babalao that's well known, that's, good in the community, he got hands to reach out to anything and anybody. And my godfather had that reach. You know what I'm saying? So he was able to place me in the lap of one that my ancestors was like, they gonna do you right. And then my godmother's crowned in Legua. You know what I mean? So my relationship with a Legua over the years, like I tell y'all, I have a fucking love affair with a Legua. That's my boo. Like he's I love that man like nobody's business. You know what I'm saying? So when she presented, I just knew, because he's taking care of me like nobody's business over the years when I wasn't initiated. Maya Legua, like, oh my God, he's my everything. You know what I mean? And so when she came about, it was just kismet, because he's always taking care of me. And here she come, crowned in Legua. I knew that, and my people knew that she would take care of me. And me and my godmother is like 10 years apart, 1 day apart in birth. You know what I'm saying? Her birthday's like the day before mine. Like it was just so, it's you know what I'm saying? So she gets me, and I get her, and she's like, how pure my heart is, that's her heart is pure like that. And a Scorpio to a Scorpio, like warrior children, like she's like, I love my godmother with everything that I have. And she very much she would let nothing happen to me, and my people knew that. And it took 10 years to find somebody that would be trusted like that, and it was her. You know what I'm saying? So um sometimes it takes longer than other time, and I didn't rush it. I just solidified my bond and my relationship with my ancestors, and I solidified my bonds and my relationship with my spirit guides. And then I went and got scratched in Palo, and I became a Paleta. And then I was the Madre Nakisi, which is the mother of spirits over there. And then I was just moving, along the line, just moving on my spiritual path, obtaining stuff, growing, learning, linking, connecting, you know what I'm saying, to the point where I was able to then elevate and plateau to the Orisha, because I had done everything else in my walk that I was supposed to do, and it readied me for the responsibility of being a priestess, Crown Shango. You know what I'm saying? And it's not over yet. You know what I'm saying? He got some other shit that he trying to get me to do right now, and I'm just sitting here like, oh my God. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? They watch me move over the years. They watch me work over the years. They know my heart over the years. My Elay that I'm part of have watched me move and watch me work, and what, because that I'm gonna tell y'all something, that initiation into a ritual, it's not an old person's game. It's really a young person's game, because it's a lot of work, and it's a lot of shit on your body. And if you guys are overweight and all of that other kind of stuff, and you looking to go into the Orisha vein, y'all need to get your health in order, because that shit is crazy. Y'all see the pictures and stuff of people all dressed up and popping around the room. Y'all don't realize how many days prior to that ceremony taking place, like the real work takes. You know what I'm saying? That we out here, we cleaning floors, we mopping, like it's a lot of it's a lot of hard work, back breaking work. Fucking, I would drag my leg around for 3 days. I didn't sleep for 4 days. I'm cleaning up all kinds of shit. Like it's a lot. You know what I'm saying? And you got to be conditioned to do this stuff, and like really have your heart in it to even make it through this stuff. Because I be looking at my god sisters, and I be like, yo, I don't know how y'all been doing this for the number of years that y'all been doing this, because some days I just be like, bitch, I need a nap. but they like 20 years younger than me. You know what I'm saying? So they like, listen, we know it's hard, but bitch, we see your back hurt. I'm like, bitch, somebody grab my leg because I can't. Yo, yeah, scratch means initiated into Apollo, baby. Um, That's not something you just do. No, not one initiation is something that you just do. Period. If spirit ain't sanction it, if spirit ain't say that this is what is in your best interest to do, if spirit ain't say this is for you, then it ain't for you. I didn't do nothing as far as spirit is concerned without them telling me that it was required in my walk, that it was something that I said that I was going to do before I came down here, that it was in my contract that I signed before I came here, that it was something that I needed to help me to do something in my walk to protect me, to help my family, to help me grow, to help me ground, to help me connect, to help me whole, to help me, like, I don't, first of all, none of this shit is free. Okay? So we talking money. When I say money, I'm talking money. Okay? So I'm not doing nothing just to say. What? No. I'm doing what's going to save my life. I'm doing what's going to save my people. I'm doing what's in my contract that my spirit and my soul said that I was going to do here when I touched down on this plane, and I was going to do this, this, and this. That's why I did it. Not for no other fucking reasons other than the fact that I needed to complete my contract so I ain't got to be coming back to earth a bunch of goddamn times because I didn't complete what I said I was going to do. I ain't come out my pocket with these thousands and thousands of dollars for this shit because none of this shit is cheap. Okay? And Orisha Ocha, that's a very expensive religion. And I don't even like calling it a religion. It's a tradition, but that shit is expensive as hell. So, no. None of it is nothing to just be doing. If my ancestors didn't tell me that that was for me, I wouldn't have been there. Where? None of them. At all whatsoever. If my walk wasn't to be, if Arisha didn't come to me when I was 2 weeks old, I'd be looking at Arisha and they'd be looking at me and I'd be like, hi. No. No, sir. My ancestors was like, bitch, you better go over there. And I was like, God damn. Y'all sure? And they was like, stop playing with us. I was like, okay, I'll go. But I was like, y'all gotta find me the right people. And they found me the right people. And when it took them 10 years, you know what I'm saying? And when they found it, I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? For me to get to the Orisha. But as far as the Palo and all that other kind of stuff, that shit is not as expensive, but it is still expensive. So my going into these traditions and these systems and receiving these initiations because I had the divinations and they told me that this is what I am supposed to be doing. And I knew. You know what I'm saying? I knew from a lady been telling me for a long time. And I was, in the beginning, I was like, y'all better leave me alone. And they was like, yeah. And then they let my life crash. And they was like, you coming yet? And I was like, I don't know. And they was like, all right, go one level lower. And I was like, well, goddamn, how many lower levels y'all got? They was like, bitch, keep playing with us. And I was like, never mind, pull me out. I got. It got rough. Baby, listen, it got rough around the edges, baby. And I was like, never mind, help. Oh, God. So, none of this stuff was just a whim or, ooh, I'm going to just go, bitch, please. First of all, I had to save my money because it got rough. And, you know, it is what it is. When spirits tell you that you need something, they make a way. If you're serious about it and you start putting your everything into it, they make a way to make sure that you have the financial that you need to get what you're supposed to do. And I've always told y'all before, I've been very good with money. I've always been very good with money. My mother taught me that from being young. You know what I'm saying? To be good with your money. So I'm retired. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna turn 50, but I worked for corporate America for over 26 years. You know what I'm saying? So I come from a different era where, you know, we were working on pensions and that kind of stuff. So I was okay financially, and I have been saving, and if you these are the traditions that you're looking to be in, every week that you get a paycheck, something needs to be going in a box somewhere near an altar or something, and having them hold money for you until that money stacks up for you to be able to receive the stuff that you need to receive. And that's what I did. I had a box and I put it over on my altar for Shango, and I was like, Baba, listen, I need to make this ocean, and I know that this shit is stupid. So every time I got money, I would put it in the box. Every time I had extra, I would put it in the box. Every time I got paid, I would put it in the box. Every time I had loose money in my pocketbook, I would put it in the box. And anytime I would have to go to that box and borrow something, he would stop me and he would be like, if you took something out this box, when you come back over here in 2 weeks, he would give me stipulations on the time frame in which I had to put the money back. And then I had to double it. He was a loan shark. What? That interest rate was stupid. He was like, if you take it out of here, when you put it back, I want double. So that kept me from going in there to be fucking off for dumb shit, right? And then it kept me without that money was not depleting for nobody's business, because he wasn't playing with me. And if I faltered on the agreement of with him telling me that if I take it, what would the mob do to you if you didn't give you the money back that you borrow from them? They break your legs or some shit. I wasn't willing to find out where he was going to get the money from if I didn't do what I agreed to do when he was concerned. He's a spirit. He can do the fuck he wants. And I was like, oh, no, I'm not playing with you, Baba. I'm not playing. So my money grew over there because of that. And because I could hear spirit, and because I'm intuitive, and because remember I told you I always had a connection with them, and I had my worries and all that kind of stuff. So he talked to me. He came to my mother when I was 2 weeks old. He said, bitch, if you go in that box, you got 2 weeks to double my shit and put it back, or don't touch it. That's how I got my Ocha money. He was like, I'll knock all your fucking checks off the fucking map. Your bank account will be shut down. He's like, I'm not playing with you. And I was like, I'm not playing with you either, Baba. I'm laughing, but I ain't joking at all whatsoever. And that's how I had my Ocha money. Because when it was time for me to make my Ocha, I opened that box and I had like $12,000 in there. So I only had to get a couple thousand out the bank. He made sure I had the money in the bank. You know what I'm saying? But in that box, in my house, I had at least 12,000 cash. And he was like, yeah, I ain't playing with you. And I was like, I ain't playing with you either, but I love you. I love you, sir. I love you. On God. So save y'all money, because this shit is extremely expensive and it's not a game. You know what I mean? All right, my darlings. I'm going. I don't know what time it is, but I know I'm tired. And that's that on that. April 12th, 2025, Saturday. Those that are coming to my class, remember, some of this stuff cannot go back unless you on your plane. If you're flying, I got a couple people that are flying in. Y'all got to check the bags. You don't want to be explaining to TSA why you got a bag full of dicks. Don't ask me. Listen, just check it so y'all ain't got to have that conversation, okay? Thank you. Peace and blessings. Y'all be good. Thank you for taking your time, and everybody that's coming, spend some time with me to hear me ramble and pop shit and all that other kind of stuff. Get yourself together so that y'all can have the best version of y'all lives, because that's all Spirit wants for y'all. And if you don't want it for yourself, then they can't want more for you than what you want for yourself.